Hey guys, I just wanted to share my skin routine.
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
I came to laugh at you.
Where the fuck are you, huh? It's Shop and Read here. Now it occurred to me there might be kiddies watching, yeah? Hello, kiddies. Fucking hello. Hello.
Fucking hello. There was 3 of us when I hit go live, but Mike's whole PC crashed, so he is currently rebooting. But thank you for coming out, boys and girls. Good to see you all. Halo Episode 2 breakdown. Not that there's a fucking whole lot to break down, but I'm sure we'll find a way to get through this. There he is. I am joined by Mike, who just managed to get his PC up and running again. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. What's going on?
Listen to him. He's got his morning voice and everything.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
have the dragon of where's he from today, Mike? I'm throwing him on the spot.
We're gonna stick with what is it? Oxford. We're gonna stay with Oxford today. Yeah, Oxford.
Dragon of Oxford, Disparu. How you doing, Disparu?
Yeah, I'm good. I can't believe we're going through episode 2 of Halo, the show where the biggest challenge of the entire episode is trying to stay awake. So, all in all, I can't believe what we've had to just sit through. And after episode 1, actually making something this much worse than the premiere is astonishing. It really is.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree that episode 1 was actually better. That wasn't very good. Lady G will be here a bit later. She wanted to rewatch the nudity scene at the end of this episode. Just to really break it down. So we'll be able to pick her brain about that when she gets on here. But she will be here. So first things first, let me get the chat open and we'll see who's here. First of all, Mozza fucking uses his channel member message to say episode 5 is gonna be so good, bro. Fuck off, Mozza. Mozza says he's gonna review episode 5 of the show and of Obi-Wan. There's only 2 episodes he's ever gonna review.
Well, that's
Josh,
the question
he's
with
here.
this.
Sorry?
Can they get worse? I did this with Wheel of Time, right? Every episode I thought there's no way they can get worse than this. But they always managed it, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
They'll find a way. Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. Yeah.
Josh, he's here. Yeah. Last toxic male, guys. That's shy. What the fuck is Master Chief wearing? He's cosplaying as Commander Shepard. Badly low.
Yeah.
Gaming or what? How you doing, Gaming or what? Good to see you. Cowman. Okay. Is this Chief or Commander Shepard? Mo, everyone. Episode 5 gotta be hella lit.
I mean, I don't really think it's either. I think that's an insult to both the characters, but yeah.
Okay. John Connors is here. I think CW hallways and feelings is the best way to sum up this episode. I'd say that's a pretty close way to sum it up to. Yeah.
I actually think this is worse than CW shows, though. Because at least they kind of have something happening around that. Like, if you go and watch The Flash, there's a lot of talking in feelings, but they'll actually go out and fight as some kind of superhero or have a villain. In this, it was just all that. It was all the worst parts of CW for an hour.
Yeah,
nothing really happened on this episode.
No.
Starting a Brave Megatron, you're drawing G1 Star Saber. Fuck yeah, boy. Anomity, g'day. Good to see you. Trey, hello, Trey. Gotta be honest, kind of happy we're not seeing Grey Team. Little pissed we've yet to see any Jackals. They're pretty important to the canon when it comes to the rubble. Well, they took the Jackal character and turned him into a black tweaker because of progressiveness. Lethal's 20-minute coffees. Yes, we were a little bit late. Were they able to drag Lady G back for more? We lost her right up until the nudity at the end. Then we got her back.
Yep. That was what saved it.
The really awful nudity. That was like Wheel of Time as well. They did a bath scene over there and they just had like 45-year-old naked women in the bath. And I'm like, what on earth are you doing?
No.
This was hell spun out, this fucking nude scene, because, like, I mean, I don't know. When I turn into a Halo show, I do not expect to see nudity. And especially, like, you know, full booty and titty shots as well. I was like, oh.
And it came out of nowhere. Like,
it came out of
was
fucking
that in the
nowhere.
scene? It's like, could she not have changed elsewhere? I mean,
No.
and it was at the end of the episode. It's like, well, you're probably in a coma at this point, so we better do something to wake you up for the for the end of it.
I reckon someone in charge was like, We just got to get a nude scene in here somehow. I don't fucking know how. I don't know why, but we just got to get a nude scene in this
Look,
episode.
it's in a contract. She's got to do it for half the episodes. We've got to fit it in somewhere.
Yep.
Do you know what'd be funny? If she just did it herself. If she was just like, fuck this.
She's like, I'm getting
She didn't even
naked.
know it was happening.
Yeah. Somebody, we gotta get people to watch this show.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take off my clothes.
You know what? Respect to her if that's the case, you know? Fucking, that's a team effort right there. Tell Mike to hurry up painting his nails. That's why we were late. Mike was busy painting his nails.
Go paint.
It's just the clear nail varnish on today.
Yeah, he colored them clear this time. Alex is here. G'day. Yes, spam emojis if you remember. Grumpy old vaping gamer. Welcome. We got some commits. Dan Blackroy just says, "Shut up, muzzle, you fucking gronk." Shy. Have I missed anyone? The lovely Sherry. Good morning to you. It's a very lovely morning when you're around. Hassan's here. G'day, Hassan. How are you doing? Halo show word of the week. I don't know.
Fucking shit, dude. How could you make it any less interesting? I don't know.
You know what's fucking wild about this is like, look, if you like the show, fine. If you're watching this streak, you probably don't like the show. But if you are enjoying the show, that's totally fine. But the defense that I see, which makes no fucking sense, is but Master Chief's supposed to be a blank slate character. That's not fucking true. That is not true in the fucking slightest, right? If he's supposed to be a blank slate character in the games, and then it's supposed to be characterized in this show, his whole character is, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I think it's because the scriptwriters don't. I think they have no idea what they're doing. They don't have a reason for it, and they're just telling the actor, "No, I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's just a triangle that does stuff. I have no idea how it works. I just wrote it that way, and now I can't come up with an explanation for it."
Yep.
Well, that brings in nicely to our boy Yonk. Good to see you, Yoink and Tonic. Long time no see, sir. It shocks me the people in charge of the show didn't take any inspiration from the games at all, and still somehow managed to make their own separate story horrible. Poor Halo is all I gotta say. Yeah, no inspiration from games, comics, or books, and yet they managed to bring in characters like Soren, who is not in any game, and they kind of did him, I guess. I mean,
well, you know what they did you know what they did get inspired by? Blade Runner.
Fucking oath, yeah.
There's straight up Blade Runner ripoffs in this episode and stuff, and I'm like, what? Why are you ripping off Blade Runner? Like, it's Halo. It's got its own established lore. It's got its own established aesthetic and everything. And they're like, you know what we should do? Blade Runner. Let's rip that off.
There's like one guy that's coming to work. It's like, wait, have you guys ever seen a movie called Blade Runner?
Yeah. It's
We should
really
do
old.
Blade Runner.
I just watched it. It's pretty good. Yeah. Fucking.
I think it's because they look down on games. They think that gaming IPs are sort of lesser than everything else. That's the whole. We're not limited by the games. They think they're superior. So they will rip off a movie because it's a movie, it's Hollywood. That's kind of our kind of level. But a game, no, we'll ignore that. That's just for retrobates that waste their time in a bedroom somewhere. It's like you can just see the condescension.
Oh,
you know what I
100%.
reckon we should do when this season's finished? We should fucking break down Forward Onto Dawn.
Yeah,
because Forward Onto Dawn is burning this, man. And that show, that was a web series where if you put it all together, it's like a movie. Like 10 years old, that fucking destroys this shit. Chad, good day, Chad. Ragfear, good day, Ragfear. Good to see you, sir. Disbrew ain't wrong. He's a fucking dragon. When was the last time you saw a dragon be wrong?
Yeah, well, because if you are wrong, like
Every adventurer wants to kill you. They're just waiting for a mistake.
Yeah.
G'day, Phil. How you doing? Well, at least nice. The nude scene? Yeah. I mean, if I was the Prophet of Mercy, I think I know why he's keeping her around.
Yep.
Certainly
not for her personality.
It's not for her personality, because all she does is fucking yell at you.
They did, because it takes so long for her to like finally take off her clothes too. She's like, and you're like, oh,
maybe
God.
They were trying to balance it out. It's like she's so covered up for the rest of the series. They're like, oh, well, if we make her nude for this part, we'll average out to some kind of normal clothes.
Yeah. Yep.
Good morning, Jade Shadow. And after seeing this episode, I think she's the arbiter. I think she's going to be the arbiter of this whole thing.
She's got the mark of shame on her back.
She's got the mark of shame. And the way she talks with the prophets, very arbiter-like. Fastara's here. Good to see you, Fastara. Oh, and this is another reason why I wanted to bring Disparu on, because Disparu is in a bit of a unique position where he doesn't know Halo lore. I was talking to him before, and he was kind of like, what's an arbiter? So he's kind of got a different set of eyes than we have this whole thing. So it's gonna balance it out nicely.
Something I saw a meme the other day, by the way, that said that Vanek or whatever, the big black Spartan guy, is actually a better Master Chief than Master Chief in the show. Like the way he's like stoic and quiet, and like even when that bitch who's been like an asshole to Master Chief since she started is like, well, what do we do? What do we blah blah blah? He's like, Master Chief has a plan, and then moves on. He gives her no fucking time to ask any questions. He's like, we got to move on. But yeah,
one-liners, man.
Yep.
It went from Chief says nothing. Like there was one part of this episode where Chief just nods, and I was like, yeah, just give me that. Just
yep, that's it.
Oh, that's the other problem. He's got one expression. Like their idea for taking his helmet off was, well, now we can see his emotional thing on his character. He has one expression. If you're gonna have one expression, I'd rather the one expression of the helmet, and then I won't at least know that you can't actually act. But in this, it's like, oh no, every single time is just completely deadpan all the time.
That's absolutely it. Yeah.
If that's like his character, fair enough, but that's why he wears a helmet.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it.
You just explained Chief.
Just explain Chief 100%. Yep.
Oh man. And then you think of me and Mike were a bit so on the Robert Pattinson Batman, but I think one thing we'll agree is, when you play Batman, you don't really get to give a whole lot of facial expressions. It's a very much in the eyes and all that type of stuff. And Robert Pattinson was able to use his eyes to kind of convey how he was feeling in moments, whereas Chief, and this is just
yeah.
I don't know.
I've not heard anyone who tries to explain it who just doesn't come across as a psychopath. Because they're all like, oh, well, unless I see his face, I don't know he's human, or I can't see his emotions, and I can't tell anything. And I'm like, what on it? Like, you can't tell that someone in a human suit might actually be a human being underneath it. It's like, no, unless I can see his actual face, I can't identify him with him at all. I just think he's a metal being, and I'll do anything to him. It's like a ridiculous argument. Normal human beings can actually empathize with many things, including animals that have no kind of human features. It's a normal human emotion, but you get all these people. It's like, no, unless I can actually see his face, I just see him as some kind of robot. It's weird.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
It's an interesting one. And then in the first episode, he makes the jokes about eating nuts and bolts and microchips. So fuck knows what's going on there. Last toxic mail with a tenner through super chat. Thank you very much. So he says, just like Jeremy says, Despa fucking Roo is here, you gronks. Hashtag the British Dragon.
Yep.
Hey, this probably gets a lot of love, and rightfully fucking so. Is it true he spends most of the episode not in his suit?
Yes. Like 95% of the episode, he is not in the suit.
Not even just not wearing a helmet, but not in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in the entire stuff with his helmet on, it's maybe 15 seconds in total.
Yeah.
He puts it on, gets in his ship, and then leaves, and then it's off.
And then he takes it off immediately. Yep.
We already have a comment of the night. The mark of shame on her back. Fallout game strong.
Yeah. Those elites, you don't know what kind of stuff they're pumping out.
Yeah, some kind of acidic thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, that burns a lot.
Nathan Stein is here. Good day, Nathan.
It's like holy water.
Yeah.
And then another super chat from the last toxic mail. Thank you very much. So found it hilarious the amount of times Disparu told Chief to put his fucking helmet back on in episode 2 review.
Yeah, every dangerous scene, he doesn't have his helmet on. The one time he's safe and under no threat and is voluntarily doing something, he puts it on. It's ridiculous. The exact opposite.
Yep, 100%, man.
Wow. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I've managed to find a way to play this with subtitles on. But unfortunately, I will have to keep like one eye here and one eye there as well to make sure we don't get another copyright claim. Last week's stream did get claimed by CBS, but they did release the claim. So if that happens this time, we'll just go through all the bullshit again. All right, well, let's get it. I retitled the video LOL of the episode. Instead of Halo episode 2, I just called it LOL because we're going to fucking LOL. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Actually, before we start, Disparu, do you want to give a quick summary of like what your thoughts of the episode were?
Oh, I think it's absolutely incredibly boring. It's difficult to sit through. If you ever want to fall asleep, you've got this. All in all, it's essentially, like I said, every single worst part of the CW shows in one. I'm fed up of some guy. Well, actually, any male character which is supposed to be stoic, like this is a guy who's got to shoot people for a living. He's supposed to be stoic. You've got to put your emotions aside in war. And yet all this is essentially trying to have him talk about his feelings all the time. If this actually worked and he went into the character they're trying to make him, he would be a terrible soldier who would just collapse under any kind of pressure. And yet they're still trying to push that as the thing that people should be. And all in all, it's sort of, I don't know, it feels like these people don't actually understand anything. Also, yeah, they're trying to make the men into sort of these really emotional, kind of more feminine kind of characters, and then they take the women and turn them into some weird lunatics that fail at everything and are complete tyrants. And I don't think these people actually know social interaction or have dealt with people at all, because all of their characters are awful.
Yeah.
And yet, with all that, Master Chief want to talk about his feelings. They keep bringing up the fact how their feelings are supposed to be suppressed because they've changed how the Spartan program works in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, this show.
Which
For
makes
someone who's
no
suppressed-
fucking sense.
For someone who has suppressed feelings, he sure likes talking about them a lot.
Yeah.
There's
That's the
another
thing.
part-
Go ahead.
The other part of this is the scenes in this which they think are really intelligent. You can tell they're really proud of what they've written. And if you actually think about what happens in them or what was said, they are so stupid and thick that there is no way you can actually, because there's a whole thing that you can only write people who are as intelligent as yourself or lower, and these people are like at the peak of their skill, and what they're writing is complete trash. It's like this is, they're so proud of this, and you can tell, and it really makes you worried for anything else they create in the future.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, is for somebody that's supposed to have his emotions suppressed and not feel things and all that shit too, he's extremely emotional, makes tons of emotional faces, and like his idea of not being emotional is just saying I don't know a million times and looking serious. Like Chief from the comics, from the games, is less emotional than this guy and doesn't have an emotional suppressor. Like,
wait, is that not in the games?
The emotional suppressor? No, that's made up.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I thought that
literally.
was like, oh,
nope, they're not even.
So
in the game,
so actually, he's just a man. Then he's just stoic.
Yeah, in
Which
the
would be
games, Chief is just a modified human being.
Yeah, just to make it really simple, Master Chief John is a Spartan 2, so second generation of the Spartan program, right? Which was created to be super soldiers to fight insurrectionists before they knew the government was a fucking thing. All right.
You know what?
So they were kidnapped at age 6 and trained as child soldiers against their will. You know, they just grew up as fucking like the best trained motherfuckers in humanity, right? And then they got surgical augmentation done to them, which is kind of what we're looking at here. And then after that, they were just fucking like beyond a human, like in terms of like, you know, strength and speed and all that type of stuff on top of the already training that they already had. And then they get their Mjolnir armor, and then that's Master Chief. Well, Spartans. So
That's
this
it.
whole thing about them not knowing where they came from, suppressed emotions, all fucking bullshit that's made up for the silver timeline.
And then
That's
like
what they're
literally,
trying.
well, in the lore, they actually talked about, and Halsey says it in the actual canon of Halo, that hiding their memories from them and preventing them from knowing where they came from would be the worst mistake ever, because if they ever found it out, they would turn on them and they can't stop them once they get loose. So
there's
like
a really good story in Halo Legends about a Spartan 2 that does a runner, because she says, I never fucking agreed to none of this. You took me when I was a kid. Right?
That's what they're trying to do. Then you're going past. Because there's this really common idea now that stoicism is like broken men, and that's not something that you should do, and all men should be in touch with their feelings and talk about it all the time. And that's what this is. They're saying that essentially someone who's stoic has had society falsely implant something on them and suppress their emotions, because these people have no idea what it's like to be a man, or actually how you handle with emotions. That actually you do have them, it's just you put them to a side when you actually need to, and you deal with it afterwards once the problem is solved. They can't even comprehend that. And so in this, they're treating it like the stoicism emotion is given to you from an outside force, which we would have as society and they would have as these pills. And actually what you should be trying to do is become this emotional wreck that he is in this TV series, and that he's actually being fixed and healed by focusing on his emotions all the time, and he'll be far stronger for it. When you actually find out that that's not even the actual plot, and in the actual game he's just a man, it makes it so much worse, the actual message they're pushing here.
100%.
I thought that was part of it.
Nope.
It's pretty munted. All right. Well, lol. So we start off back with the Spartan training program back on Planet Reach, and they say like they've changed their timeline beyond fucking recognition in this show.
Yeah.
22 years ago, which I don't think actually lines up. I think it should. Well, whatever. That's a bit picky, I guess. But I didn't mind this, how we see, like, you know, they've had like the surgery done to them and all that type of shit. And ironically, I think this would be like the one time where it's actually okay to show Chief's face, you know, where he's younger, he's training.
Yep.
See, like that, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's cool to show Chief's face there.
That's definitely CGI though, right? Because to me, that looks all out of proportion. And I don't know what's off about it, but it's like his face is on the wrong body or something.
It's definitely the way they're shooting it and stuff too.
It looks weird. It might be because he's so close to the camera that his body takes up 95% of the camera, and then you've got a tiny little face.
It's just a bad shot. That's like a cinematography thing. But even with that,
when
like
he walks off, it looks better.
Yeah. Well, then, but once again, here he is, clean shaven, you know, buzz cut and stuff. Because in the military, that is how you're supposed to look. That is like yeah. And they're like, but when you get older, we don't care. When you get older, you don't have to do that anymore. Like,
I actually saw it. There's an army program which explains stuff like that. It was the idea that if you don't clean your weapon and your firearm, it'll backfire on you. So they get you used to being really sort of controlled and meticulous about keeping yourself clean and everything, because then you'll keep your firearm clean. It all makes sense. And so getting lazy about facial hair and stuff, they wouldn't allow.
No, they would not allow it at all. There is like only one branch of the military, like if you're in like special forces and stuff, that you are allowed to have beards and stuff. And a lot of times it is specifically for like blending in and not being noticed, because if you're a clean cut, clean shaven guy, it's obvious. It could be obvious that you're in the military and stuff. That's the reason that they do it. So here, showing Master Chief not meticulous about his looks and about how he groomed himself, shows you that they don't give a shit. Like they have no clue what they're doing. They thought he looked better with a beard, so they gave him a like shitty beard. So,
yeah, fucking hell. Pretty
But also, there's drones outside this building patrolling, but there's not a single camera in his actual bedroom.
Nope. Oh, which is like out there. I mean, like Halsey would have like monitoring
everywhere.
These motherfuckers 24/7.
Yeah.
She'd be watching them piss, man.
And there's a little tiny gate. I'm getting ahead of myself. But
Any dickhead can just walk out. There's not a guard at the gate for like what is the most expensive thing. Yeah.
Yep. Nothing.
Like they even make a point about how expensive Spartans are in the lore as well. So like when one dies, it's like fuck, we just lost a fuckload of money as well as of time.
Yep.
That's why there's that whole saying, you know, Spartans never die. They're just missing in action.
Yep.
But in these ones, I hope they'll fucking die.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no dude at the gate guarding the Spartan 2s, which on Planet Reach as well, which is like the main military planet in the UNSC. There's not a fucking guard at the gate.
And all of these elite soldiers, not a single one wakes up. They're all really heavy sleepers.
And they're all sleeping like vampires, lying down.
Yeah, on their back.
That is not how people sleep, man.
And why have they all got night lights?
Yeah.
It's like they're scared of the dark.
Yeah, they're scared of the dark. That must be what it is. This is the only answer, because they probably didn't think about it.
I mean,
once again,
imagine sleeping with a light next to your face.
Just right there on both sides of your eyes and everything. And you're like, oh no, it's fine.
This is one of those shows. The more you watch, like every time you watch it, you'll find worse and worse stuff.
Yep.
Oh man.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, Soren's missing. When this show was announced, I did not think they'd bring Soren into it, but they did. Yeah. Look, any dicker can just fucking walk out of the Spartan 2 barracks. Does this mean that anyone could also walk in on Spartan 2s as well? Which
must be.
Obviously. Yeah.
There is no way. Just walk in.
No way Halsey would let that fly, man.
Just shoot them all in the face.
And especially in the Fall of Reach book, there's a part where John, Master Chief, is training, back in the training days, and he doesn't know his own strength. And he kills ODSTs, the orbital drop shop troopers. They have like a bit of a scuffle, and he kills them because he doesn't know his own strength. Right? You're telling me, right, that ODSTs could walk in there and go, "You're that motherfucker that killed our friends in the weight room," and anyone could just walk in on this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the UNSC, I hope the Covenant glasses, you're all retards over there.
And even basic prisons, like open prisons, will have a door that is locked that you have to get through before you hit the gate. And in this, he just walks out and now he's in the open.
Yep.
Dude, it's a trip, man, especially when you consider like how important Spartan dudes are as well.
That drone goes that way. When he's actually walking away, it's coming back. You see the light shining towards him. It doesn't see him.
Nope.
Huh.
No, because they're the worst drones.
Like
Well,
that light is now shining towards him.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. 100%. But the camera doesn't go that far, obviously, you know?
Yeah,
Right?
it's like Metal Gear Solid. It's got a
And there's
visual
one thing I
range.
want to check.
Yeah.
How does he get over that fence?
Well,
It
he's a
doesn't show
Spartan
you.
too.
It's just like climbs it. Because if you look, right, that's a flat fence. It doesn't even have spikes on the top, and it's slanted outwards. So
Yep.
as long as you can handle like a slight sort of incline, anyone can climb on over it either way, and you're all fine.
Yeah, it'd be great for breaking out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's actually easier to break out of than it is in, and because there's no spikes on the top, you can just grab it and pull yourself up.
Super easy. Barely an
Barely an
inconvenience.
inconvenience. Oh,
Yeah.
dog's barking. No, what? No one's fucking noticed.
Nope.
So yeah, here we see Soren. One thing I'll give them credit is they did do the fucked up arm. He does have a fucked up arm. They did that. To me, he feels less fucked up in the silver timeline than what he should be, but
This guy
whatever.
isn't even hiding. Like, so
Yeah.
he's just broken out of a top security place. Doesn't go to like a tree line or something to get away from him. He just stands through the gate, through the fence, which people can see you through, and just sits there waiting for his mate for all this time.
And this is gonna be a reoccurring theme, but if he's breaking out, why isn't he wearing his helmet? If he's wearing the
Yeah.
suit to break out,
Yep.
why isn't he wearing the helmet? Do you always wear your helmet? It's the most important part. It's where all my fucking UI is.
Yep.
And you
Nope.
see in this as well, when people complained, why did they do it so early on in the first episode? I don't think that was even about Master Chief. That was because they wanted him to be the first reveal, but they really wanted to show everyone else. To show,
Yeah.
oh, look at the diversity we've got in this kind of thing. And it's like, they had to get Master Chief out of the way so they could show all the people they actually wanted to show.
Yep.
Anyone else's gator go off a bit here?
I'm gonna be honest. I did stop to think about it. I'm like, are they gonna make them fuck or something? Like, what's going on here?
I mean,
Yeah.
They did immediately get out of their armor.
Yeah, I
think
did
it
have
even
that
said-
concern for a second there of like, oh shit, they're gonna go the way of like making Master Chief gay or something. Fortunately, they didn't. But I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh no.
Well,
Fucking
not yet,
shit.
at least.
Nah.
So pretty much, him and Soren agreed we're gonna do a runner, and John's had a change of heart. He's like, "No, I'm gonna stay, but I can't let you go. This is all fucked up if you go." And Soren basically convinces him to let him go, and he says, "I'll give you 5 minutes." Oh, we have an expert on the nude scene here, Lady G. How are you doing?
Well, you know, yeah.
Yeah?
This is what a part to come in on. Holy cow, I tell you what.
Yeah. You're
Oh,
welcome.
good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Hi, yeah. I was at church and kiddos had Sunday school, so I'm out in the parking lot while they're doing their stuff.
Gotta
but-
jump out on. You gotta step out on Jesus so we can talk about Halo. Yeah, it's important. I get it.
I'm not teaching this Sunday, so
Well,
but it doesn't make sense. It's a 40-minute drive back to my house. So by the time I got there, I'd have to turn around and go back.
Yep.
Hey everyone.
totally fine.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. This scene that we are now discussing is like 4 minutes into the show, not even.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it off and walked away.
I don't blame you.
As you should.
Ah.
As you should.
My husband was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this episode. He's like, you just started. I'm like, I am aware.
Yeah.
I'm
I am
aware.
aware of my limitations, okay?
So
I was
you
like-
haven't seen it? Hold on, you haven't seen it?
Oh, no, I went back. Like, it took some doing, but I did go back and
Thank
watch
God.
the episode. But
I've been
I wish
telling
I had
everyone
it.
I've been telling everyone you're an expert on the nude scene at the end.
yeah, no, I'll tell you exactly what I told my husband. He was like, oh, did he take his helmet off again? And I was like, everything came off.
Everything came off.
Everything came off. I was like, I don't know what's happening. This isn't Halo. I'm not sure what I'm watching. Like, why not just have everybody in the nude? You know what? Just have clone Cortana in the nude. Why not?
Nope.
Just
Oh, we probably will.
Make that bitch naked. Just do it. Yeah.
Oh,
Showrunner notes. Make that bitch naked. Star.
Star. Yep. Guys. Like, I thought episode 1 was bad. Hi, by the way, Disbrew. I think this is the first time we've been on stream together.
Yeah.
But
Disbrew, Lady G, Disbrew, you both had a lot to say about Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I watched the videos.
yes, and I still have more Wheel of Time videos coming out because I'm just that angry. But
I don't blame you.
Halo is what really frustrates me is I know exactly what they're doing and it's not working because these people have no idea what women actually want. What they are trying to do is make this property. So what they think is, okay, guys want to see these alien things that we can't remember the name of, but we're going to put them in there anyway and make them look like lizards. They want to see them get blown up and they want to see, and women want to see hot guys. Okay, so let's have Chief take his helmet off. No. Like, just no. The girls, the women who play Halo don't want to see what's underneath Chief's helmet because we can put anybody's face under that helmet. You know what I mean? That's part of the fantasy where a lot of guys self-insert and see themselves possibly under Chief's helmet. We see whoever we want. You've ruined it, Halo.
Yep.
That's what you've done. Like, your approach has failed on all points.
You had one fucking job and you couldn't even do that right.
Correct. So the reason I shut this off, this scene in particular, is I don't know about you guys. I found this scene excruciatingly lore breaking because for these people to be having this conversation, stuff just like last week, because when they called Master Chief Demon, but he hasn't done anything to earn that title yet.
Yeah.
The conversation that is currently happening would make sense if Doc had already done the stuff that she's supposed to do, but she hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because, like, it did happen. Like, Soren did leave, but this is trying to say that, like, yeah, this is just kind of making Halsey look more inept than what she should be. Because we're pointing out before, like, how can anyone just walk in and out of Spartan 2 barracks? How come they all sleep like vampires? The drones just flying around everywhere and not seeing anyone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, to me, this was like half right. And I think this is the one time it's acceptable to have Chief's face showing.
Because he's younger.
I don't mind him younger. Like, but like, he should have his helmet on if he's going to do a runner.
Yeah.
Because the reason they're using from like an outside perspective about why this guy leaves in the first place is because essentially he stopped taking those suppressants, and so they kind of lost control of him and they've left.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. That's another thing.
He's still taking them, so he's and that's the whole idea. Like, they're trying to make out that the only reason these people do what they're told is because they're taking those pills, and if they stop it, they'll wake up and all leave, which seems like a terrible plan to begin with. But if this guy's changed his mind that actually, no, I'm going to let this go, he's like, well, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm only going to give you 5 minutes so that they can. It's like, once you've decided to let him go, why does it matter whether it's 5 minutes or 10? Because he's told that if you give me 5, I'm going to die. And it's like, well, go fuck yourself then. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, this is another part. They mentioned that Spartans and Master Chief have fighting aliens for 25 plus years already. But then they say, oh, but it's all UNSC propaganda. It doesn't, they don't believe it's real. They don't believe the Covenant's real in this timeline. That we've been fighting for 25 years. And then you have Soren's wife, who just wants everyone to do drugs with her, comes in and goes, oh, they glassed my planet when I was a kid. So what is it? Which
one is it? Yep.
Yeah, there's no thread of consistency in this story, and there's no way that you're going to be able to fix it, because it's not like, I swear to God, if they try and pull like a Cortana was screwing with everybody and inserting memories or something like that into everybody's minds, and none of this is real, I will literally go down to Paramount Plus myself and fire everyone and say that I am now the owner of Paramount Plus. Go away. I will identify as that.
I own the whole fucking thing, you gronks.
I own it all. Get out. You have all failed. Like, just
the thing is, too, like later in the show, his buddy, I don't remember his name now, Sarin or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Tells him, he doesn't talk about pills. He says he has a thing implanted in his body that makes him not feel stuff. So which one, like, that's another, like, automatically another inconsistency. I stopped taking the pills so I feel things again. And then later it's like, if you just take that thing out of your body, I'm like, okay, well, if you didn't have that already in your body when you left, then how do you know that they put it in his body later? Like, half of this shit just doesn't make any sense.
Even Halsey later on talks about pellets. So it's definitely something that they take rather than an implant.
Yeah, they consume it.
But
and
then,
so, like,
go ahead.
And I think he says, I've got the pellets in my bag. Like, in that same scene.
Yeah.
But then later he's like, oh, but the thing implanted in your body prevents you from feeling things. And you're like, oh, what? Like, that's why I was confused, because I was like, what are you talking about? I thought,
I don't. That's what makes the scene in the first episode between, like, Rose Tico / Gray combination chick who should not have survived. She should have been dead 6 times over. I digress. But I can't even remember her name at this point. Like, my brain is blanking.
Quan. I remember her name's Quan because people kept making queef jokes in my Twitch stream.
Quan, ha. Like, even her last name's laughing at it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Quan.
Like, so that scene. So if it's the pellets, that scene between Chief and Quan makes no sense, because he should have already taken his pellets for the day, and therefore, her saying you never ask questions, like, should have had no effect on him. But if it's an implant, then it shouldn't have mattered that they had that conversation at all, unless it makes it. They've fucked. Excuse my language, but they've fracked up episode 1 even more.
I already said fuck. You might as well just keep going.
No, I can't. I stopped at fuck. I stopped at fuck. Like, I'm so angry at this show. It has me swearing. But this first, that's why I cut this scene off. Like, I had to walk away, because I'm like, it makes no sense. Like, there's nothing. This scene completely undoes everything in the first episode, because there's no way, like, either he would have already taken his pellets for the day, so that conversation wouldn't have mattered, or
he's a dog. Take your pellets.
Right, take your pellets.
Take your pellets, you dog.
But if it's an implant, then it wouldn't have mattered that they had that conversation at all, and he would have executed the order and executed her.
I think what they're trying to do is that the magic triangle has woken up his emotions and overridden the pellets, which is why he can still take them and also feel. But at this point, then, you're getting down to the magic triangle seems to be an EMP device that can also fix things and give you emotions and memories. And it's like, at some point, you're going to have to describe what the limits of this device are, because at the moment, it's magic, bro. And that you can't have that for technology.
That's what it is. It's magic, bro. Like, come on now.
I've got a question for, like, all my lore people in the chat. Didn't Soren originally escape in a longsword? And is that doesn't just does not look like a longsword to me, but that's a very fucking minor.
Yeah, but that would be a detail that somebody would know if they actually gave a shit about the lore.
So now he's walking to a spaceship which is just outside of the fence, unguarded, that he can just take off. And there's like no cannons or anything around the base that would shoot down a flying aircraft as it leaves.
So okay, let's just recap. Anyone can walk in and out of the Spartan 2 training barracks where they sleep. Yep. Anyone can walk in or out, right?
Yep.
And then you can walk out of that. There's a drone that won't see you, and you can keep walking. And then you can hop over a fence, which seems to be made for breaking out of, because it slips over. And then you jump over the fence, and you're in a spaceship airfield, and there's no fucking guards walking around.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyone can walk up to that base and just take a spacecraft. Because there is nothing. It's outside the base.
That's
outside
the
security.
Yeah.
So,
that's a short
so there is there's a joke with I can't. So in San Diego you have the Marine Corps Recruit Training Depot and you have the Army Recruit Training Depot. The Army Recruit Training Depot people will only chase escaping or runners in this case. Like, they'll only chase them if they go in 3 different directions, because if they go the 4th direction, which almost all of them do because it looks like it's a straight shot to the airport, if they hop that wall, they end up in the Marine Corps Recruit Training Depot, and it's over for them. Like, they get royally destroyed. So it makes sense why they wouldn't do something like that. It's like it's this huge joke between the Army and the Marine Corps. Because that you have this one wall in the Army training depot that is completely like no guards, no nothing. They'll let you hop it because they know that what's over there, it's waiting for you, is worse than them chasing you down.
Yep.
This
that would imply that they have knowledge of military stuff and actually give a shit again.
Yeah, I was like, so if that's what you're trying to imply, like if you you could escape if you want to, but it's going to be worse for you because X, Y, and Z, or we'll hunt you down, or whatever it may be. That would make some kind of sense, but there's no booby trap waiting for this guy. He just leaves.
Yep. The people that wrote this show have never been on a military base in their life.
1,000%.
They've been in a nice little office in a city somewhere writing about celebrities. Yep. That's the kind of quality you've got here.
Yep. It's true.
Wow, I've never seen Master Chief look. This is not an insult to my friends that play on the other team, but Master Chief looks really fucking gay here.
Yeah,
it's just the lighting.
It's the lighting.
And this bitch still hasn't fucking wiped her face.
This is one of the worst scenes as well. Like all of this, like she's like, "Oh, look, we're traveling through space." And he starts to describe it, and like he said something about we're going the shortest distance, and she says what? She's asking him to describe what's happening. He starts to explain, and she's going, "You're ruining it. You asked him to explain, you dumb cow." Oh,
yeah.
Like, and then I'm getting ahead of myself.
She's a woman. She's a woman. We don't know what we want. We think we want something, and then when we get it, we don't want it.
Yeah, like a Halo show.
Yeah,
Halo show.
Like a Halo show.
Yep.
Until this is what they came up with. But yeah, Disparu's right. So she's all like, mine is blown.
Wow, Master Chief, tell me about space. And he's like, well,
space.
Space. Yeah, she's like, you're ruining it.
Yeah,
he's like, okay, I don't know why I fucking speak to you. I don't like you in the first place. So
it's just
right
there.
She's the most annoying person in the universe.
Yeah.
She speaks 100%. For every Halo fan, though, when the show drops. You're ruining it.
No.
And look, if I had my friend's blood on my face, the first thing I would do is remove it. Do you know how horrific that would be? It's like
the shock.
Is this frozen?
There we go.
This roof froze up. That's how.
Okay,
that's
I thought
this roof fucking broken.
That's how mad he got me. I was like,
the Brit.
Look what they did to the dragon. Paramount, you owe me a new dragon.
The fucking dragon.
Oh no.
You dogs.
I'll put it in the private chat. Disparu, you are
you froze.
frozen.
He's screaming at his mic at his screen right now.
I know. I know.
Someone tweet at Paramount and say they owe me a new British dragon.
Yeah.
This particular first of all, Star Trek did space travel better.
Yep.
Yeah. Like it's not even close. Like when because like right now it just looks like they're at a rave.
Yeah.
It looks like they're at a rave. Like there's no I don't even know what word I'm looking for. There's no
well, it just doesn't
there's no wonder, there's no mysticism, there's no nothing. They're treating space like oh, we've all seen it before, we've all done like they don't understand. They fundamentally misunderstand the Halo universe because this is something like they have an opportunity to show us a universe that unless you've played the games, which many of us have, but like if you're trying to go for normies, you have the ability to show them space from the Halo perspective, which is entirely different than anything else that anybody has ever experienced. It's not just white dots on a black screen. There's planets, there's military movements, there's bases, there's dangers, like there's meteors, there's ice caps, there's all of these resources that are dangerous out in space that you can avoid. There's so much, like it is infinite. Space is infinite, and they could have taken any approach to this, and they decided to make it look like a really bad 90s rave.
Yeah. Well, once again, that implies that they care and know anything about space. They literally have Star Trek as an IP, and they don't know how to do space in Halo.
Also, in another video I was watching, they said this ship isn't even it can't even do this. That you need a bigger ship to get this engine on it.
Yeah, the Pelicans.
Yeah,
can't-
Pelicans, they kind of just cruise.
Yep.
Ugh. But
Yeah.
yeah, don't know. Don't know. I still can't believe she hasn't wiped her face, man. She's gone a whole episode.
Yeah, with her friend's brain matter on her face. Like, the pure shock that she would have gone through, she should have thrown up. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen someone get shot in front of you and die. Not very many people handle it that well.
Never seen that.
Yep, they're only capable of limited space flight. Yeah.
And
They
someone
can't.
mentioned in the comments of in the first one, those dots move around her face throughout the entire
Yeah.
episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
do
To
they?
get them right, yeah.
Which is
I
funny
haven't even
because
noticed that.
in like in stuff like this, they have somebody that is supposed to be in charge of that. There's
Yep.
literally a person on the set that their whole job is to make sure that they know where stuff was on somebody's face, where items are and stuff like that, and they obviously don't pay attention at all. And it's totally fine for them to just
Like,
be
there's far
shit.
less on her face now than there was in the first episode. So she's
Yeah.
wiped some of them off, but can't be bothered to get the rest.
Nope.
Just
And
Just
it's
leave that
just like
blood to
she
your
doesn't
friends.
she doesn't care about anyone. All of her friends went in that first scene. Then her entire village went. She saw her father under a car, didn't even go and try and save him. Now he's gone, and she's just here like, oh, this is beautiful. What about this engine? Oh, how do we travel through space? She doesn't care at all
No.
about anyone but herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's a sociopath. Like, here's the thing. Writers, they're trying to write strong women, and all they're writing is sociopaths.
Yeah.
And that's not the equivalent of strong. That is the equivalent of someone who is going to take over the universe and is self-serving and will destroy everybody in their path, even people who have helped them, in order to either survive or get what they want.
Mhm.
That's what the writers have accomplished. It's sickening.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to make the men more feminine, and then they've made the women just these lunatics.
Is
And
it your
this is something
birthday?
you're seeing all over the place.
We're about 6 months early.
Oh, I was
Oh, well.
what the fuck?
Hello.
Be like the Queen, have two.
Yeah, fuck it.
Anyways, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
this has nothing to do with the show, but it is far more interesting. And the person deleted it, and I didn't get a screenshot of it, but I retweeted it, and I was like, I would literally pay to see you get past any of the security that the Queen has. But this person who is American said that if they ever had the chance, they would slap Donald Trump and the Queen of England better than Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. And I was like,
You
I don't-
die.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
mean-
think you're gonna get close to either of those people, but especially not the Queen of England. Like,
I mean, you'd probably be surprised. There was a guy who climbed over a fence and then climbed a building and went through one of the windows, and people thought he was a staff. And he actually got into, I think it was like Prince Harry's or somebody's bathroom when he was in the bath. So you can get into the palace. But yeah, the guards there, they don't mess about. There's even a point that they have a patrol route, and if you're standing in that patrol route, they will walk through you. They're told not to stop. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can be a baby in a pram, they will walk through it. You do not get in their way. So if they actually found you, it wouldn't be a good time for you.
Yeah.
I
Speaking of
love
which,
the
just-
videos of them just knocking people over, and the
At-
people all like Americans surprised. What's happened?
I just on a total note, I saw a video the other day of like one of the guards, and he was taking a selfie, like he was taking a selfie video, and he was talking, and it comes around a corner, and a guard comes around the corner, and the Queen's standing right behind him, and they just stop and look at him, and he's like smiling, and he just goes, like, yeah, they're like, well, he fucking lost his job, so I lost my shit, dude.
You know. All right, Mike, I want to get your opinion on this because I think Lord Hood, they actually kind of did okay. He
I was
kind
like-
of looks like Hood. He looks
Yeah.
like Lord Hood, and the way he backs up Chief very publicly as well.
I was like, for the first time, you have a character that somewhat acts like and looks like somebody that belongs in Halo, next to Halsey, who has been,
I reckon she done a decent job in the first episode.
yeah, she's the least
inconsistently.
egregious
Yes,
character that we've seen, because literally Halsey is just like a maniacal, like controlling,
She's a bitch, but she's supposed to be.
manipulative bitch. Yeah, like that's how she always has been.
You
So,
know they're
like-
gonna make Hood the bad guy, though. You know that's
even-
gonna happen.
I will say this: the aesthetic of this just this little scene here, and there's not much to go on, but like his costume, their interaction, everything feels the most Halo of everything in the show.
yeah,
but
but then
It's
then
also
you
one
see
of the
that-
most boring scenes in the show because
True.
it's just two people talking.
and then you see the show. Oh, you got to go back. You got to go back and see the mountain in the background because it's that Paramount is literally. They have a mountain is their freaking emblem. It is the brand for their
Yeah, but-
entire company, and that mountain looks like shit.
Well, hey, budget.
Like, how are you not going to get the mountain right?
It's a TV show; they have a budget.
And this
that's what
entire
everybody was-
scene-
Up 10 million in did you see the budget for this thing?
Oh yeah, I don't know where that money's going, man.
$9.98 million an episode, and this is if this is, I forget, is it a 6 or an 8 episode season? Did they say
It's a fucking 9.
9? So you're
$10
telling
million
me that
episode.
you're basically spending the equivalent of a big budget movie. $100 million is going into this TV series, and you can't get a mountain right when your name is Paramount.
No.
Yeah, but think about how they do it, right? I don't know if Paramount does it specifically, but I think for Wheel of Time, there's probably some accuracy in it. They actually paid another company to make the show. So they get 100 million, or whatever it is. Yeah, 100 million,
Yeah.
and they hand it over to him. And then he goes, right, I've spent it. But anything he doesn't spend on the show, he gets to keep. His company gets to keep as profit.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there is
Oh.
an inbuilt reason for them to not
Yes.
spend a lot on the show. Because
That's
that's more
why,
profit
like-
for them.
Yep.
Just when I found that out, because oh my god, I ranted so hard on Wheel of Time's costumes. I was like, what? Like, why do these look like 11th grade drama club rejected medieval? Like, it looks like something out of Midsummer Night's Dream 11th grade drama production that got rejected, and they picked up and they sort of like stitched together, and they have no idea what is happening. And then when I found out that Amazon didn't even make the damn show, and the people but here's the thing, they're only allowed to keep 44% of the total. So basically half, but only 44%.
Yep.
So
Right, I mean,
he had to spend at least 46% of it on the show and then just keep everything else.
Yeah, so you spend the minimum.
Yes. Yeah, it is how people don't realize that these are money laundering schemes is unbeknownst to me, because that is obviously what these things are.
Well, Rafe, besides his qualifications of only writing a few episodes and being a Survivor guy, his entire production company was set up specifically for Wheel of Time. He didn't have one before. So there's a lot of money will just go into that won't go on the show. I don't know how these people get jobs. I really don't. Like, you'd give it to someone who already had something set up. But this entire scene was about how she could be really intelligent, and then when she says she don't know, he just comes back and goes, "Well, you're really intelligent. You're amazing." And it was like we've got to tell the women in STEM how amazing they are, even when they've just said we don't know the answer to a question.
Yeah.
I think it
I've seen
also
before.
kind of lowballed Cortana because, there's a chance Halsey's lying about what the actual point of Cortana is. But as of right now, she's saying that the point of Cortana is to control Spartans, right?
Yeah.
Which is just such a disservice, man. Cortana is more than just a fucking.
Yeah, that was
shock
never the
collar
point of-
supposed to be around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was never the point of Cortana. Like,
Yeah.
No.
I don't know where they came up with that though.
They came up
But-
with it because they're like, okay, well, the pellets didn't work and the implantation didn't work. Let's give Cortana this meaning.
Now,
Because
if this
we
was in a
fundamentally
game,
misunderstand the show we're making.
if this was in the game right here, he'd have his helmet on. Even on this
Yeah.
image right here, they'd have like blue team. All blue team would have Fred, Linda, Kelly would have their helmets off, but Chief would have the helmet on.
Yep.
This is just more of
If they
Let's
go,
have
oh, I
helmet
think
off.
they're gonna go. I think they're gonna do like he'll have Cortana and everything beamed into his mind, but the magic triangle will make it not take with him, and she'll be like some third party kind of AI for him.
Oh,
But it'll
100%.
overwrite all of the other Spartans, so they just become drones. Which is why I think you've got all these they're loyal to him. And I think that'll be the thing that now they'll start coming after him, and he'll completely rebel. And all of my friends that used to be on my side now hate me because they're overridden by this powerful AI and stuff.
Oh,
it's
dude.
going to be Skynet. It is.
100%.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
or Cortana, because Cortana is trying to get into his brain, but the magic triangle is in his brain. Cortana is going to come in touch with the magic triangle, and it's going to make her that's what's going to give her the ability to step away from Halsey and take
Yeah.
over everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she turns.
Because she she by proxy touched the magic triangle via cheek.
Whamming.
Here we
Oh
have.
my god, that fucking hit! This is another thing. Oh my god! All right, there are standards in the military for hair, for makeup, for nails. Like, your nails will not be longer than 1/4 of an inch long. You're not allowed to have fake nails. You're not allowed to have eccentric colors. The only time you're allowed to paint your nails a color is if it is for the Marine Corps birthday ball. It's the same thing in the Navy, the Army. Like, for the birthday ball, you are allowed to have one of your branch's colors, whether that be red. You could have red, white, and blue, which are the colors of America, obviously. Or for the, like, you can paint them green in the Marine Corps. Just depending. But you are not allowed to have eccentric hair color, eccentric hairstyles, or eccentric makeup. Her eyebrows are so, like, I know this doesn't matter to anybody else, but having been in the military, these haircuts, these hairstyles, and just the amount, the makeup that is allowed frustrates me to my core. Because first of all, if you're running and you're sweating and you're a freaking Spartan, you're doing all of the things to kill all of the other things, you're not going to give a shit what makeup is on your face.
And her hair would get in the way of her helmet going on. You've just seen it. It was sticking out at the back. It would jam into where the helmet's meant to seal and all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
And that's for the army over here. They'd like at least try and be like, well, we recognize that you are humans as well, so we'll give you some kind of leeway. These won't care about that. They'll just be like, no, shave your head. We don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
they're
not
supposed to have.
You're Spartans. Get over it.
Yeah, they're not supposed to have emotions. They're not supposed to care about individuality.
Yeah, I know. It kind of contradicts itself.
100%, man.
Well. Like,
absolutely. And there's four hairstyles that are allowed. You're allowed to have a sock bun. You're allowed to have a French twist. You're allowed to have a tucked braid, which in this case, with that helmet, a French twist or a tucked braid would have worked. Or you were allowed to have a non-eccentric bob, because the shortest that a female's hair is allowed to be in the military in any branch is 2 inches. That's the shortest your hair is allowed to be. And if it is in layers, the layers have to look natural. But the rule is, if you're going to wear your hair down, if you're going to have short hair, it cannot cover the bottom of your collar in your utilities. That is the freaking rule. There's no way. Not only would she not be able to get that helmet on, it's the rest of her gear would okay, I'm going to slow down. Would be negatively impacted by that specific hairstyle.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the way that all of the oxygen, all of the tube, all of the everything, the delivery systems, the way they're set up on that, her hair gets in the freaking way. It's in the way. Why is it?
Sorry, go on.
No, I'm so mad. I'm so mad because they fundamentally misunderstand females in the military. Like,
they see the world like they want it to be, not how it actually is. And they make the
but they're trying to morph it into that as well.
Yes,
100% to change people.
This is what it should be like, because this is what we think the world should be like, not because it actually is. Yeah.
But we've just dropped out into an asteroid belt. They're flying around the ship. He's desperately trying to dodge, and an alarm goes off, and she goes, "What's that sound? What do you think it..." This shows how thick she is for this entire scene. She's just dumb thing after dumb thing throughout all of it. And she's just going, "We're all gonna die!" on the entire scene. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Like, what makes it laugh is that question would have made sense if, like, okay, the alarm is going off, but then all of a sudden, so you have your regular proximity alarm, but then if you have like your hull breach alarm or something like that, and it flashes a different color and it makes a different sound, she's like, if the alarm's already going off, what's that? Then she could be like, hull breach. Like, that would make sense. But obviously, if you are in an asteroid belt and there is something that sounds like an alarm going off, because she's heard alarms before. She grew up on discount Tatooine in the middle of BFE. Like, of course she knows what an alarm is. She's heard them before.
And she could have come out the back where she couldn't see the asteroids and stuff. But the fact that she's looking out of the window and still asking for it is stupid.
I love this part right here. Buckle up. That's what they should say every time a new episode comes out.
He has to tell her twice. He tells her to sit down and put a belt on twice.
Yep.
And she's like, we're gonna die!
Yeah, but what are we supposed to do here? He's like, buckle up, like I fucking said already.
Here we get the rubble.
Okay, the physics of this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Just so we're like, we've already gone through asteroids smashing into each other, so we know that asteroids will be hitting these things. They're on ropes. Any tension on that rope will mean that the asteroid won't stop and will start crashing into everything else. So unless they've all got boosters on, or there's some kind of ships that keep stopping these every time anyone puts any force on them at all, and simultaneously is knocking every single asteroid outside out into the other world, this entire scene does not work, like, in reality.
Nope.
Oh man, this
That
part.
would imply that
for
they
me,
care about reality.
This part was where it really fell apart. There's one part after this, which was the nuke, but this part was where I lost it. And it got pointed out to me. I did not notice this actually, but this got pointed out to me. This is their attempt at attempting to do an Easter egg here, right? Apparently, the sound of the door opening is the sound from Halo 2, I think I was told. When you're in the Covenant ship and it's the sound of their doors opening. Why the fuck would there be the sound of the Covenant doors opening here?
Because like that's the thing. They just threw something in as an Easter egg to try to make you happy without giving any thought as to why they would be putting it in or where it fit best to put it in. They just know that if we do this and somebody catches it, maybe they'll think that we care about the lore. It's all manipulation. Like
it's so when you complain about how there's nothing related to the games, how this is outside of the like they've admitted to themselves by putting this in your silver timeline.
my silver timeline.
My silver timeline. Like they've already admitted that none of this works and that they don't care fundamentally about any of the existing lore or anybody that built this franchise into what it is. Because, guys, you already know this, but there's thousands of games get made a year. Thousands of games get made a year. Maybe not anymore, but it used to be thousands of games get made. The ones that are successful are the ones that the fans get behind, the ones that draw in an audience. So the reason that they're able to make this show is because of the people that came before. And so their idea is, okay, we'll throw in some... It's the equivalent of throwing in like the R2-D2 beep bop boop into a Star Wars show, because like, look, there's something that you can relate to. This is the same thing with the Covenant doors opening. Here's something you can relate to. And if you say you don't like it, or if you say there's nothing actually from the games or anything that makes sense in it, we can call you haters or we can call you fake fans, because you should recognize those Easter eggs that we put in there for just you. It's not. Yeah. It's a fake shield so that they can hide behind it when we correctly and objectively criticize them for their absolute shit take on this show and apparent lack of care for anything.
The Gravemaster said shit.
I didn't even notice it. It got pointed out to me as well. They're going, why is there the fucking Halo? I think they said it was the Halo 2, if I remember.
I'm not even judging. I just think it's funny that she was like, I'm not going to say fuck because I'm at church. Shit!
So shit! I don't know, when this door opened, all I thought was Fallout. This is a vault tech.
Yeah,
door.
it's a vault. Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. The amount of like, this is a thing that people on the other side of the curtain don't know, and casual fans don't realize and stuff. But like, the amount of work and detail that goes into these movies and stuff and these shows, like there's everything is intentional. Like when you leave a coffee cup in the background of Game of Thrones, that's not a small mistake. That means that the person that the prop master missed it. That means that the producers missed it. That means that the people running the camera missed it. All of that stuff. So it is an egregious mistake when something like that happens. So when you have something that looks like Fallout, that's not a mistake, because they have people that are in analytics that look at that and go, that could look like this. That could accidentally be misconstrued as this. All of that stuff. If it looks like it's Blade Runner, it's intentional. If it looks like it's kind of Fallout, that's intentional. It is all there. There are reasons behind designs for everything that they do. So if it looks like something else, it's probably intentional. So
that's also as well.
That's
also as well when people are on like a man walks behind a woman, or someone in the background is like having to jog to keep up to the strong women in the front, and you're like, well, that's petty. No, that was all planned. They have marks on the spot. They're told what space to go. So if something looks like something, it's because it was intentional.
It was intentional. 100%. This Bruce completely right. Yep. If it looks weird and you go, oh, you're just being petty, that doesn't make any sense, nobody puts that much thought into it. The fuck they don't. They absolutely know what they're doing.
Mhm.
Like 100%. There, nothing is an accident.
Nope. And can
Yeah.
I say, like, I never thought that I would see a show that felt less aesthetically like itself than the trailers than Wheel of Time or the trailers that we've seen for Rings of Power. But never once have I looked at it's been 2 episodes. You've had 2 episodes there, and these are long episodes. And never once have I looked at this and been like, that's Halo. That looks like Halo. This feels like Halo. Never once have I done that.
You never will.
But with Disparu's point as well about, you know, like the girl, the dude trying to catch up. I would have had it like, you know, in a perfect world, canon Halo show, blue team. That should be Kelly, because Kelly's like the fastest Spartan. So she should just be able to catch up to everyone. Like, everyone go on ahead. Kelly will catch up, man. She's there. She's fast. So you could have done it like that.
Once again,
But,
that would imply
those
that
little
they give a
details.
shit about those characters. Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
was saying that, I was thinking of the Halo trailer, because there's a scene where 3 of them, like the 2 women are in front of something, and they're all walking away from the camera, and in the back you've got like the biggest Spartan dude who's just miles ahead, and he's got to do like this little camp jog to catch up to the women at the front, and it's like, it was absolutely ridiculous.
That should have been Kelly. That would have been a wicked Kelly moment. It's like, look, she's already caught up. She's fast as fuck, boy. She's faster
The
than
best
Team
as
Star.
fuck, boy.
This scene was the most base that he's ever been, though, when he's like, I'm in a big protective suit walking into a really dangerous den of villains, and she's got nothing on her, but I'm still going to drag her out into this dangerous location.
I know.
He could have left her in the ship until she was safe, but he's like, no, you come with me. Hopefully you'll get shot in the face.
Not a single UNSC weapon. Not a single one.
Nope. I
Not
think we
one
need to
single one.
start keeping we need to start keeping a how many times she should be dead already counter, because
Shot.
we got to
No.
be in double digits by now.
The counter's already broken. Yeah.
The counter's broken.
That's too many numbers. Yeah.
What do you think of this, Mike, when they try and put a forklift in front of him?
Once again, I will say this: like, it's at least showcasing that Spartans are on the next fucking level. But my thing is, Chief wouldn't have moved it. Chief would have told them to move it, and they would have moved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like move, and then they would have moved it because everybody's fucking scared. Because that's the thing. Once again, we've been told Master Chief is the symbol of humanity. They know who the fuck Master Chief is.
Yep.
And even in episode one, they're like, Spartans just kill, 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 kill.
Yeah, they know who
And
the
these are
fuck
all
he
idiots.
is. Yeah,
And there's a
but
big
no,
space on the left and the right. You could just walk around it. I don't.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a Spartan, I don't know what that's there to do. Like, who's that there to stop? If someone was invading the base, they'd just walk around it, even if they couldn't move it.
They'd be like, what? Yep, 100%, man. Yeah, but once again, no, they didn't put that kind of thought into it because they don't care. They just wanted to get a show out as fast as possible, and what the show is what it is, and that they're happy enough with it. If it's good enough, then it's passable. Yep.
They thought that was a good Master Chief moment of just showing his strength. That's all that was there for.
Yep.
And they didn't do it right.
He immediately takes his helmet off.
Immediately.
Ugh.
He can't wait to take his helmet off.
He's still surrounded by the biggest scum and villainy in the entire universe have all come to this one base. He said it's the only place they can go which isn't under the control of someone. So everybody that the UNSC is after is all in this base. They can't be trusted, and I'm just gonna completely make my armor redundant. Fine.
Time to take off my helmet.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you were like a full innie, right? You're going, okay, that's 2 Spartans. You go, one, did a runner, fine, but that's still 2 Spartans with their helmets off right now. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
One of them doesn't even have a helmet. In fact, if you look at his armor, I don't even know how a helmet would attach to the other guy's armor, because it's a different set.
Yeah.
Like, where's the connections? You can even see his pajamas underneath.
Yeah.
I kind of can assume that over the course of the war, Chief's armor's been upgraded, but
yeah, but where's that guy? You can see his shoulders. Where would a helmet connect?
Yeah,
it's called movie magic. That's how the helmet connects.
Yeah,
it's the magic triangle. The magic triangle will weld that helmet on.
You can't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Star Trek Discovery. It's like
somebody
just merges.
Yeah, somebody definitely intentionally designed that and then left out the helmet on purpose. Yeah,
probably just to make him like comfortable, but still, it's like, well,
he's a Spartan. Who gives a damn whether he's comfortable?
Gives a fuck.
The armor's there to keep you alive, not be comfortable.
Yeah.
Satsu with a $1. I believe this is Swiss money. Am I right?
Swiss
Right.
money.
Could be.
It's basically chocolate. It's chocolate coins.
Chocolate
You
or
don't say
watches.
anything, but thank you very much.
I
Thank you
googled
very
it and I
much.
came back with congestive heart failure. So I don't know.
Okay, one congestive heart failure. Thank you very much. Good to see
amazing.
you, sir. Hope you've been well. Randy's here. What really annoyed me was the blood splatter on Queef's face. Yes, we've been talking about that. Like going through all that she went through of the blood on her face and it didn't mix with sweat or get smudged. And she didn't even wipe it. She didn't go,
Nope.
It's kind of annoying. And,
Also,
Blackest Knight's here. G'day.
Chief makes a point. So, like, in the novels, at least, Chief makes a point of always keeping his equipment immaculate, as almost all like you keep your shit clean because you need it to function properly. Chief's not gonna let her go around with her friend's blood on her face. Like, it serves no purpose, and it, like, if she gets injured, which, I mean, she did anyway, like, when you literally had to clean the cut that was on her forehead, but you didn't clean any of the other crap off of her face. It makes no sense, because that's risk of infection. That's risk of, like, thinking that it's her friend's blood rather than her own if she gets injured. It causes so many tactical issues to leave that blood on your face, because there's no enemy that she's trying to psych out. There's nobody that she's trying to, you know, inspire fear into with having the blood on her face. It poses no purpose whatsoever.
Once again, that would imply that they gave a shit.
So he goes with Soren to go meet his wife, and they go on like some really like old school like theme park ride to get there, which is pretty out there, man.
Damn, why does Chief look so fucking uncomfortable on it? He's like, "Oh man, I didn't know we were getting on a roller coaster." I'm like, what the fuck is your deal?
What the
bro?
fuck? I wasn't told there was a roller coaster in this. This is bullshit.
To make
And why
him
are
more
these two
human.
people so friendly? Like, Chief doesn't know that this guy's going to be his friend. The last time he saw him, he gave him 5 minutes, which was a death sentence. He as far as he knew, they were going to hunt him down in 5 minutes and he was going to die. He just wasn't.
And
gonna
he
do it
even
himself.
says that. He goes, "You know what? 5 minutes got me. Got me shot down and stranded for like 6 months or whatever he says."
But he only says that at the end of the episode. He's been all friendly up until that point, showing in his family and all kinds of stuff. It's...
Yeah, here's my family. I don't know if you're here to kill me. Like, you know, because that's the thing. Why would he trust Chief to just show up out of nowhere? Like, it's the UNFC. Like, what? Yeah. Once again, it would imply that they care.
So they go on this crazy fucking out there go-kart ride.
Also, this doesn't work. Like, there's one rope going to one place.
This is, what happens if someone's trying to get in as he's coming out?
As far as I'm aware, this rope it's just like a one-way street. You don't see it going off onto other ropes or anything. So those
That's
people
what I mean.
that
Like,
came back came from his house. And he didn't even say hi to them. He didn't know who they were. It's a one-way street, and this is zero gravity. It doesn't work. The physics of that thing, it is gravity that keeps your thing on the bottom of the wire on our world. Without gravity, that thing's spinning all over the place and going upside down and hitting the rope. You'd die.
I think what they could have had is like something to like visualize as like a shield around it. You know what I mean? Just to make it look more sci-fi. But this just looks like a box going across a piece of string.
Yeah, I mean, it still needs gravity to stay where it is on the rope. And it goes outside. So even if there's gravity inside the mine, when it goes outside to his, there's no gravity.
Yeah.
They have a magic triangle too, Disbrew.
Yeah, this is like in Discovery again, where they had like radar in space, like sonar or something. It's like, well, there's no sound waves in space, dude. What are you even doing? But it's the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I don't... Do these people think that just... So...
Hold on.
Like...
You just answered your own question because you said, do these people think?
I'm sorry.
They don't.
Right, they don't think. Well, but like, what is the rationale here? Like, oh, people aren't subject matter experts on space, so they're not going to know that sound waves don't travel through space. Light is the only thing. We already know this. Everything is in free fall. Light is the only thing that travels in space. Unless you have some sort of propulsion, you can't control yourself. Like, you are free falling in space. Everybody knows that. The joke is literally nobody will hear you scream. Like, that is literally the joke. So why would they think that they could get away with using sonar in space? Like, that nobody was going to pick that up. Why would you think that nobody's going to notice that there is a box on a rope attached? Like, what is the rationale for them thinking that no one's gonna pick this crap apart because it doesn't even look cool. Like you can't even use the Last Jedi excuse of, well, at least it looked good.
The only people that are gonna care, according to them, are people that like are fucking nerds. Like that's what it is. It'll be the people that they're gonna dismiss the most are the only people that actually give a shit. That is their rationale.
That's why I think they're deliberately trying to annoy them and make them not watch the show, because it's far easier for them if people that don't care watch the show, because then they can just do whatever they want and they don't have to care about the problems. The people who would cause the most problems in Star Trek would have been the people that remembered every single detail about how everything's meant to work. Because and you'll
the thing with that, Disparu, I mean, like, okay, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's a single franchise that doesn't have some contradictions here and there. I think it's the level of contradictions, you know, is where the problem is. But like, me and Disparu were talking before we went live. Like, who is this made for? Who is this made for? I despise this. I'm a Halo lore fan. I despise this. I think this is terrible. People that don't know Halo lore are going, this is just generic sci-fi. Let's not even finish it CGI in some scenes. So who is this for?
Like, none of the problems with breaking the Halo lore bothered me because I didn't know them. But just with being consistent within itself, it's every like few minutes you've got something else. Like this. People told me his armor weighs like a ton and it's really, really heavy. How's he taking it off? In like, oh, well, it's going to damage your floors. Okay. Well, how did he get it off on his own and put it back on his own? Because we've already seen in the first episode, they're in like this.
They're going to do the Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That had to be put on by machines. Okay. Where is it?
Yeah, in the original, in Halo 1 and 2, I think Halo 1 and 2, he can remove it manually, but it takes a long time to take it all off, which is why half the time he doesn't remove it. But Halo 3, that's when they get the big Iron Man machines to remove it and put it on and stuff, because it's way more complex, but it's also stronger armor at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about any of that. They don't think about it. They're just like, we got to get him out of his armor.
As of right now, this is the closest thing we have to a live-action Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. Which is funny, because in the first episode, they have a Commander Shepard Easter egg. They actually say his name in it. So,
yeah, and again, they shouldn't have, like, they don't give a crap about the Mass Effect lore or the Halo lore, so they shouldn't get to make that joke.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah,
you're good.
Pretty out there.
It's pretty munted.
Now, this chick over here, so, you know, that's his wife, but she throws a huge spanner in the works because she's the one that says, oh, the Covenant glassed my planet when I was a kid. But, okay, righto, that's not really going to work. But we'll keep going for a little bit. Oh, I just saw your message, Lady G. Shit, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I didn't realize how long I was babbling for.
No.
Oops.
You're good.
I'll get to this high charity shit later because that's the big part. So yeah, he's all like, hey, this is my wife, let's go. You know, she's going to throw a total spanner into this whole timeline of events here because Silver Timeline doesn't make any sense. And even the way he stares at him. So you talk about me often? Fuck you. How dare you talk about me often? Not that often. And now I think we're about to get to the part where this is the nuke. Wait for it. I will say, I think visually, High Charity looks decent.
Yeah.
I think that looks cool. But holy fucking shit on fucking flaccid titties. This scene right fucking here. Kaboom. Kaboom. Forerunners, mantle of responsibility, reclaimers, all that shit out the fucking window in this moment right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, sorry, go on, Mike.
No, I'm just gonna say you're 100%. Like they know what they're doing. They're not fucking stupid. I mean, these people are not dumb. They know what they're doing. Yeah.
Now, my thing here, all right, is the High Prophets. Okay, we know the High Prophets are the one running the show. This character is the elite that we saw in the first episode. I don't like the look of his armor. Probably a little nitpicky there, but I do not like the look of his armor. However, I said that I thought he was going to become the Arbiter. It's her. This chick here is going to become the Arbiter. Yeah. You'll see. Yeah. Now, this whole talk of Blessed One. Blessed One is something new created for the Silver Timeline. A Blessed One, because we see later that not all humans can interact with what we're assuming are Forerunner artifacts, because, again, Silver Timeline, I don't know if there are Forerunners in this fucking timeline. Who knows?
They
But
talk about the people that came before,
which
so,
are
yeah.
supposed to be forerunners, but I don't know if they're going to call them that. The thing is that humanity gets the mantle of responsibility, and humanity is the reclaimers. Humanity is the rightful heir to the galaxy, you know, because of all the forerunners. So any fucking human can activate, can interact with forerunner technology, right? That's kind of why the whole war starts, is because the prophets find out that no, humans are legit, not us. So they want to wipe out humanity here. Okay. But they seem to know that only in the Silver Timeline, they seem to know that only certain humans can interact with these objects. And these are referred to as blessed ones. We've seen 2 blessed ones. This chick here, who I forget her name, but we'll get to see her fucking booty and titty a bit later. And John. They're the only 2 that we know so far are blessed ones, right? Now, if only some humans can interact with objects, why the whole war?
Yeah. Why not just abduct the humans? You just abduct humans quietly and covertly and grab the ones that you think can do it, and you test them out until you find the right ones. Yeah.
Why the
if she's-
whole war?
Go ahead.
You could argue that they were going to planets to try and grab humans to test them or something, but it seems like an post hoc rationalization of they wanted her to be with them, and they had to come up with a reason of why they kept her around. And so they're just like, oh, she's special, and so they needed to activate the device, I guess. But
What I think it was with that disparate is I think they very quickly ran into the problem of, wait, every single human can interact with these artifacts, so that's just going to end the whole story real quick.
Yep.
Especially if we've got one that's on our side, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So they had to come up with this bullshit that, okay, only some humans can interact with it. We'll call them blessed ones. But then again, that brings me back to why is there this whole war going on? You don't need to wipe out humanity. The whole thing of wiping out humanity is these 3 covering up their bullshit.
This is what happens when I'm like, you just need to stick to the law and not change it, because you're not intelligent enough to change it. And everything builds on one another. So if you make one thing that you think is a small change, everything else crumbles, and you just have to keep like trying to stack new problems on top of old ones and patch it together again, because the entire thing has collapsed. And it's how you end up with stuff like this that just doesn't make any sense, because they made one minor change and everything else crumbles.
And this is the next part here. She straight up talks down to the 3 people running the whole show.
Yep.
She's like, hey, you're going to send me on this mission. I'm going to do this for you. And they're like, and they kind of have a good argument. They're like, we probably shouldn't, because you are kind of important. So we don't want to risk losing you. And she's like, no, I'm going to do it. You know, she's talking down to the 3 people in charge of this whole fucking religion.
Yeah. And we're also,
not only that, she is undermining them in front of this basic bitch level 1 elite.
Yep.
And we're also still overlooking the fact that she's a human in the Covenant who is...
Oh, yeah, that in itself is just...
just her existence.
That's why I think they're just playing nice with her. That's why they had to make her special and unique, so that they had a reason to keep her alive. But you could take this picture and show it to any human on Earth without any context and say who's in charge in what order. And they would tell you that the people in the thrones are in charge, that she's second, and he is lowest of all of them. And they would be able to work out who could shout at who could put each other down and everything. And what happens next just completely annihilates any hierarchical structure, which this picture shows.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah.
I hate this show. Disbrew, it was lovely to be on with you. We're gonna have to do this again.
Absolutely.
Hopefully next week. I love all of you very much. And while we're on this note, if any of the 3 of you want to just like play some OG Halo, I would forever be down. But Lethal, you still owe me a Destiny 2 run.
Yeah, maybe this Tuesday. Well, your Monday, but
your dog,
maybe.
Your dog. All right. Much love, guys. Take care. And you still have like 35 minutes of an episode to get through of torture and pain. So have fun with that.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later, Lady G.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, munted. Absolutely munted. The only logical point she makes talking to the elites is when she says, I can walk amongst humans the way you can't. That's the only fucking logical point she has in this whole thing.
And she flips from that. She goes immediately from like screaming at them and looking down on them to eventually begging to be let out from them. So she goes from I'm in command of you to suddenly I'm like a daughter and you need to tell me that give me permission to go. Like, instantly. There's no reason for it to switch.
No. Nope.
I love that. It's like he's doing the meme.
Yeah.
My preciouses. That's what it should be.
Yeah. Fucking shit, dude. It's like,
Oh man. Yeah, but this was the moment. This scene, I was like, holy fuck, what have you done? You know, child, Eric, what have you done? Yeah, and
So,
she mentions the great journey, you know. This is pretty weird. So she's like, all right, Mercy, the prophet of mercy, you're the one that discovered me when I was a child. You brought me in and raised me and taught me about the great journey. But again, humanity, it's all a fucking lie. Like the whole great journey and all this shit, it's all a fucking lie.
yeah.
So I don't know. I am stumped. Like this Bruce said, it's level upon level upon level of bullshit and changing shit. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah.
The bit that really gets me is where she's gritting her teeth and screaming at them. And it's like that's like body language wise one of the worst you can do because it means you're about to attack. That's why dogs do it. And just I couldn't believe like a director is supposed to give the actors direction on how to play an emotion. And I would love to know what he told her for this scene. Not only just because it changes, but the fact that she's acting so aggressive towards them from a position of subservience.
Yep.
I want to know what he told her.
Be tough. Look like a tough bitch. Do it. This is how we do.
These people
Checks
have no
notes.
idea what
It says
being tough means.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This is
my
actually
note
like
says act like a tough bitch.
yeah.
I got this.
If you're not acting, yeah, grit your teeth, snarl like a
Imagine
dog.
being a director. Cut. That was great, but can we do it again with you being a tough bitch this time?
Yeah, I really need
There is
you
a
to.
way. There is a way that you can present yourself of being from a position of authority and power while also being quite polite and stuff, and you just kind of radiate it naturally. And she could have done that by, like, if she knows that she's unique and she's one of the only people that can activate the device, she could have played on that and maintained reserved and still subservient while also essentially being like, I hold all the cards here. But instead, she just starts screaming like a
Yeah,
lunatic.
well, that would require her to actually require good acting and subtlety, but that's a lost art form and it's in and of itself in like acting and stuff with female characters specifically because it's not because she's a female like actor, like it's because they don't understand how to write female characters anymore. To them, a female character that's subservient or manipulative or has to like recognize people in authority is weak. They can't show weakness. So they're like, how can we make her seem? Because that's the thing. If you watch Star Trek, go watch Discovery. I haven't even watched Discovery, just the clips from Discovery. Go watch how they treat women and go watch how they approach female characters. They don't understand. And it's in writing prevalent everywhere. Every woman has to be a snarling, like monstrous, like tough woman to prove that she's strong and like the men, because that's what they assume masculinity is. That's what they assume is that's how men are. They're snarling, drooling beasts, and that's how they get their way in the world, you know? So, yeah.
This is why it comes across that they're trying to write something deep, but it's just so shallow because there is no subtlety. There's nothing to read into it. It's just in your face. They don't understand posturing. Or anything like that. Body language. It's like these people have never interacted with humans before. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. 100%. Yeah.
I don't know, man. You got the free high profits, and oh man, you just
yeah. Funny.
Right. If you told me 10 years ago, like when I was like just starting, well, when I was in like grade 7, if you told me then, like when Halo 3 came out, that there'd be a live action Halo show one day, I'd be like crying with happiness. But then if you told me this is what it would be, I would be too young to understand why I was angry at the time.
Yeah.
Now, we have next Disparu's favorite part. The High Command of the UNSC gathering around to discuss many a situation, including Master Chief doing a fucking runner and disobeying orders. Disparu, the floor's yours on this one.
It's the same repeated thing like they had before. They thought it was all big and deep and we can do this. They think this is Machiavellian politics. They think this is been some big complicated setup and she's outplayed them all and we've trapped them in a corner and now you're going to witness the sheer power of womanhood. When actually all she did is just describe a factual reality of what an AI she's created has, and she's only let off the hook of actually being tried for serious crimes of going against their own leadership Because a guy goes, well, actually, because at one point they're like, are you, this is actually done by illegal kind of mechanics, isn't it? And she looks at the other guy, and he doesn't even try and save her. He just goes, well, you're in charge of this. Do you agree? And if the woman just went, no, what on earth are you doing? I told you to stop this, which is the factual reality of what actually happened, she would have been in prison the next day and everyone would have suffered for it. And instead, the woman goes, yeah, I agree. It's like, what is going on? We're supposed to think that she got completely outplayed, out-manipulated, that this was all some big complicated plan that was all rigged together, when it's the most shallow piece of writing I've ever seen in my life. And it is literally... I've now come to the conclusion that they're just thick. I think the writers are thick. I don't think they have any talent. And I think this is as good a job as they can do. And they are really incredibly proud of themselves. You can almost feel the smugness radiating from the screen. And I've never witnessed something such an abomination.
Yeah.
So we have
so, you know, that's my thought.
Paranosky here. Yeah, just very well. Okay. Sheer power of womanhood. That's a quote. Get it? Because there's no such fucking thing. But here we have Paranosky. And see, the thing with her and Halsey is they're supposed to be kind of rivals, right? And all she has to do in this moment right here is go, Halsey's lying.
Yep.
That's it. Done.
Nope, I never agreed with that. Yep.
Yeah, no,
Bump. Yeah. Like,
but she's worried that she'll look bad to the UNSC High Command. Well, how's she going to look bad? She's going to go, oh, so you're admitting to disobeying the order I gave you in the last episode in front of everyone.
Yeah,
I've
told you
checkmate.
multiple times to stop that, and you haven't done it. And then you just, like, punish her.
Yep.
Disobeying a direct order.
Beat
That's a
that
big crime.
bitch with the soap. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking push her out the building. Push her out. Robocopper, mate, out the building. You're fired.
Yeah.
I mean, the person who played this properly is actually the woman that was questioning her, where she goes, wait, hang on, I read one of your papers, and it requires illegal technology to do this? What are you doing? And then everybody just forgets that, all because she looks slightly at a guy. It makes no sense. The entire scene doesn't make any sense.
And he brings up the point where he's like, well, you know, we're going to punish Master Chief. And Hood's like, well, we can't really punish Chief because, you know, he's seen as like the poster boy, right? So if we take out Chief, we're losing our most dangerous weapon, our biggest asset, and it's also going to really fuck up morale for the soldiers and the civilians in the day-to-day life. So, like I said before, I didn't mind Admiral Hood in this, or Lord Hood in this. I think they did him well just by having him back up Chief. And the fact that he actually kind of looks like the character is a good start as well.
Yeah, the start of it I thought was decent because it seemed like something they'd set up in order to make her bring up Cortana. So I thought the actual start of it was actually well written, ironically. But it's everything after that point when she starts to talk about Cortana and she's just trapped. Yeah. It was a bad play, but she gets let off for some reason. And then at the end, she's looking over smugly as if, ha, I've got one over on you, my boss.
Gotcha, bitch.
Like, no.
You stupid bitch. Look what I did. Yeah. And she's like, okay, fuck it. You know.
Oh, man. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, so the whole thing with Cortana in this, like she's saying, it could all be a lie. There could be more, which would be in line with Halsey. But she's saying that Cortana is only going to exist to be a shock collar for Spartans, basically. It's going to keep them in mind. Spartans were the next step in human evolution. No, they weren't. They're fucking genetically modified. And then after that, we have the next step in evolution is Cortana, but Cortana's an AI.
Yep.
So
it had nothing to do with that.
I don't even think her language makes sense because she's on about overwriting their brains, essentially their personalities. And some guy goes, well, you can't do that. You can't take that away from a human. And she goes, they're more than human. It's like, no, that'd be the other way around. If they're more than human, you really shouldn't do it. You mean they're less than human, they're beneath you, and so that gives you the right to, like, they're your pets, essentially.
They're weapons.
You can do whatever you want
like,
with your pets.
Yeah, say, guys, they're weapons. They're not...
Yeah, they're tools, weapons, tools. So we can do whatever we want with them. We own them. Whereas instead, she's like, no, they're better than us. Well, they should be commanding you then, surely.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't fuck those people up then. Or
it's like what Mike said at the start, you know, in the actual law, they make a point of going, no, don't do that. That's bad.
You do not lie to those Spartans because they're like, if they find out we lied, if they discover that we manipulated us, they'll turn on us and they'll fuck us up because they are smarter, stronger, faster, more efficient than we are. The difference is they're loyal to us. Like, we have their loyalty, not their subservience. Like, yeah, because look what happened when Chief went rogue. yes, he had the Deus Ex Machina of a magical triangle that does whatever he needs it to do at the time. But like, imagine how many people would have died if Master Chief put on his fucking helmet, grabbed a gun, and just
imagine if he did a Tony Montana and just went sailing to my little friend, just blew up the fucking door and went on a spree.
Just started murking soldiers. There would have been so many dead soldiers, and they had 3 Spartans there. The thing is, those 3 Spartans are not Master Chief. They work for him, so he's still the best of those 3. Not, I mean, this Master Chief obviously doesn't give that off, but like even in the lore, Master Chief is like not to be trifled with. He is what is it? Hyper lethal.
There's only been 2 hyper lethals.
2.
Free account.
I mean that's lore, obviously, but that this brew doesn't know about. But like in the Halo canon, there's only 2 ever like designated hyper lethal Spartans, and it was Master Chief and the character the character from
Reach.
Halo Reach.
Noble 6.
Yeah. So like he is like the best of the best in this, and so they would know you don't fuck with this guy, and they're like, they're like, well, you know.
I saw someone in the chat before saying, I'm so happy they didn't add Noble 6 to this. And it's ironic because the whole argument is Chief's a blank slate character, which he's not. But Noble 6 legitimately is a blank slate character. That's the whole fucking point. Like, they make that point of, I read your file, even the parts that didn't have black ink. Because in the collector's whatever edition it was with Noble 6, you had with Halo Reach games, sorry. As much as I take issue with the plot of that game, because I don't think it lines up at all, Noble 6 was fucking badass because he actually, or she, we don't know, was legitimately a blank slate. All details in them were filled out with black ink by Oni. And this show forgets Oni exists. And that brings us into what I think is the next scene. No, we get Cortana, actually. I want to be Cortana there. But forgetting about Oni brings us to this part here. This dude right here, I forget his name, Vrishta or some shit. This dude right here, being a UNSC plant, this could be a fucking badass Oni plotline right here. Because they're saying that we've put this dude in charge of the planet of Madrigal after the fucking slaughter that happened in the first episode, right? And he's like, you know, ruling with an iron fist. He's taking control. Petrol prices are down across the fucking galaxy. You know, we're manipulating the economy. That is straight up Oni fuckery. Yeah. Office of Naval Intelligence, they are known for being shady ass motherfuckers, man. Like, thinking of the Halo ODST game when Veronica Dare comes in and all the other ODSTs go, dude, that bitch is Oni. I don't want to be anywhere fucking near her.
Yeah. Yep. But once again,
but then we get this, like, they forgot Oni exists.
Yeah.
They straight up forgot Oni exists in this universe, man. UNSC would not put a hit on a fucking child. Oni would. They wouldn't think fucking twice about it.
Fuck. Yeah.
They do not give a fuck. After Halo 3, going into real Halo canon here, at the end of Halo 3, when the Human Covenant War is over, Hood and Arbiter shake hands. You know, I'll never fucking forgive you for what you've done, but I will thank you for helping him in the end. Right?
Yep.
Do you know what Oni did between Halo 3 and Halo 4? Started fucking with the elites behind the scenes. Because fuck them. That's why.
Yeah.
Because that's what Oni does.
That would require you to actually like pay attention to the lore and shit too, though. Yeah.
But yeah, they just forgot what Oni is in this. They just, I don't know, because this whole plot line here of him like executing people, this could have been some great Oni fuckery, man. But what I don't get is, who sent that drone? Did I miss something?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. I assumed that, well, I hoped it was like a random news reporting drone or something, but it's never explained. And the worst way it could be is if she sent it, because it doesn't really make sense. She could be controlling that from that room.
Yeah. It's kind of implied that she sort of is controlling it, or at least, you know, has a direct feed to it.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a news reporting drone, and she's just recorded the feed or something, but you would assume it would switch over to someone talking about the footage or something, when instead, the moment the drone's destroyed, it just freezes on her screen, like she had direct access to the drone. Doesn't really make any sense. But from like a layman's perspective, I kind of like the scene, but it was only because so far his character is the only one that's made logical sense from start to finish.
Yes.
Basically just like an evil guy who's seized power and is now putting down his enemies. Which, at least he makes sense as a person.
Yep.
Only doing Oni things that only Oni knows, but only certain Oni knows Oni. That's a tongue twister.
Fuck. That's rough.
And I did kind of like as well where they got back hoods on their heads, and then it shows that he can still look at one, and then he just kind of smirks because now I've seen your face, and just does it anyway. It's like there's absolutely, he doesn't care at all about the person. So I think they've set him up well.
Yeah,
and he's putting out. He wants to kill Quan because
he's like an actually interesting character. But then they're like, "Oh, he's gonna try to kill you, Quan." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I did like.
I hope he
the
succeeds.
Evil guy British.
He's got a real evil-looking face, man. Like of every character that they've brought into this, including Master Chief, I'm more interested in this Vischer dude. I want to see more of him.
He's from Doctor Who. He was in Torchwood, and he's always played like these kind of odd, slightly evil characters, but he's just gone full evil on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of misunderstood, or maybe I just completely missed something. How is she able to watch this? Because they're nowhere near it, and this drone's like transmitting.
It's all the other screens that make me think this looks like a control room. Like, she could be controlling the drone.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
And this is when Soren's wife goes, "Yeah, the Covenant glassed my planet." Did she say? She said glass? I think she says glass. Or,
yeah, she did say
I
glass.
lost my whole planet.
Yep. We glassed my planet.
Maybe she doesn't say glass, but it's pretty heavily implied.
Pretty sure she said.
Somewhere in the episode they say it. Yeah.
The chief says, "I've seen them turn planets to glass."
Yeah.
But you know, how could just in their own silver timeline, it doesn't line up? How could? Okay, so she, as a child, saw her planet get destroyed by the Covenant, right? Which would mean that the Covenant was glassing planets while Spartan 2s were still being trained. So when, at the start of the episode, when Soren did a runner, the UNSC was already not just aware, but fighting the Covenant by that stage, right? And then we fast forward to 2552 on Madrigal, where they say that the Covenant is believed to be UNSC propaganda, and they're actually surprised and blown away when the Covenant rocks up.
How?
Yeah.
Because
they're taking like a storyline, because in the Wheel of Time universe, because they don't have transport, they're just walking around on foot. And so news is passed very slowly across people, and so people don't believe the stories because it's like fifth hand and 5 years late by the time anyone's got to your area. But in this, they've got technology and instant communication and stuff, so none of that makes any sense. It's like now we've got social media, so we all find out information instantly. You would know about this stuff.
Yep, 100%. Yep.
And this is part of my what you were talking about, Mike. Well, they got to take their pills. You got to take your medicine, John. Because he's like, I can't taste anything because of all the my supplements.
My supplements make the apples taste bad. You're like, okay, cool, man. Yeah.
Right. And I think I already missed it at the start when they first meet each other. Like his wife, this Halo show seems to have a weird obsession with kids doing drugs.
Yeah.
Because at the first episode, they're out picking shrooms.
Yeah.
In this one, they're all like inhaling some bullshit.
She's like, "You want some
she
drugs?"
offers it to the kid. She goes, "Hey, you want to get high?
Yeah.
Want to get high?"
She's like,
I think it's
"No."
trying to push this message that essentially Master Chief might be living a better life. Like, you shouldn't be totally free because a lot of people use freedom in a wrong way. They're either trying to push that as kind of a moral message, or just being like, this is the perfect life, and look at what Master Chief is missing out on, and we should actually all be doing this.
You want some drugs? Be a lot cooler if you did.
You want to do some drugs?
Yeah.
She's like, no.
They're either saying this is a good message or saying that people use their freedom in horrible ways. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, because either of those is a complex message for people like this.
Oh, they may not have even thought about it. They may just be like, yay, drugs.
Yeah. It would be funny to make her do drugs. Want some drugs? Yeah.
And they call it like, what is it, Clarity or something?
Yeah,
it's a really weird name.
She's like, bitch, I've had enough of that clarity for now.
I've had enough clarity. Like, oh, fuck off.
Has she washed her face by this point?
Yeah, have you washed your face?
So fucked.
Because there's no excuse at this point.
No.
Yeah. Fucking oath.
Oh, she has.
Yeah, she has. No. Imagine if the next scene she's back to being covered in blood.
Yeah.
She puts it back on. I miss it.
She's like, I
Yes,
miss
She's
basically-
known the kid for 12 seconds.
Yeah, the kid's like, the kid likes you. He goes, this basically he's a little kid, you know, he goes around and puts stamps on people that he likes. Which,
shit.
Okay.
Little
Clay?
shit.
But it's so lazy, this idea that just because something is a kid, you're supposed to care about it. And that's what this is. We have no reason to care about this kid. He's been in the screen for 12 seconds. But just
No.
because he's a kid and did something, we're supposed to think it's big and momentous.
Yeah. Like, wow, he trusts you. Well, that must mean kids are great. Kids are great judges of character. I'm like, yeah, even though he's a murdering, psychopathic robot person.
Kids
Technically.
trust anyone.
Yeah.
Like the point. That's why you teach
Yeah.
them not to trust people, because they just naturally do.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to say, if I saw this image right here, I would have no reason to believe that was Master Chief.
Nope.
I would
Nope.
say, what is this?
And also, she pulls a magic trick and vanishes. When the moment the camera
does she?
pans back to him, she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
The continuity in this shit is awful.
Yeah, they stand there. Then
she's
the other
gone!
people- No, she stands there. They walk off, and then the camera looks back at Master Chief, and she's vanished.
Yeah, she's gone.
There you go.
Where'd she go? Where she fucking stayed disappearing. And here we have not Blue Team, not Fred, not Linda, and not Kelly. We have I can't even remember I can't even remember these guys' names.
No, I said I'm not even going to bother learning them.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. They're not real characters. There's nothing to them.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and this part, what the fuck?
I
I
hate
mean,
this.
Miranda, because in this timeline, Miranda's in charge of like Covenant artifacts or some shit. And she's talking about like, oh, I've nearly cracked the Singheili language. You know, I'm fucking doing good. Can I get the Covenant object before Halsey does? And then she's all like, I am sick of being manipulated today, so fuck off.
She literally says she invents all technology for the UNSC. All of it.
All of it.
She lists all engines, shields,
She's
firearms.
the smartest girl in the whole galaxy.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the most specialist.
What have they done to my beloved Miranda, man? I still, man, when Miranda died in Halo 3, that hit hard. That fucking hit hard, man.
Yeah. Not here.
This ain't Miranda.
No.
This is just some fucking.
She's better.
She's better.
She's a woman in
We
STEM.
never played the games. We never read the books. But we know Halo.
She's the most special woman in the whole world.
Yeah. We
Lethal.
need more women in STEM. We need to put them in the TV shows because that'll definitely make it happen in real life.
Yeah, we
I
need to
support
remind
sending
people.
women in outer space. Let's put them on a fucking rocket ship and just
Oh,
get rid of them. They fucked up everything.
fucking shit.
I mean, the Russians did it with a dog. They were just like, who should we send into space first? A dog.
Yeah, they're like, let's
He'll
listen
fly
to
it back.
Yeah, that dog will have a good time.
So this is when that whole Blessed One bullshit comes in, hitting a
Yep.
bit harder because Soren over here grabs the artifact and it does nothing because he's not a Blessed One, because the mantle of responsibility is not a thing in the Silver timeline, and the idea of reclaimers just does not exist as well in this timeline as well. So yeah, because why the fuck is there a human Covenant war then? I would like to know an answer to that.
Yeah.
And we went to the only base in the universe that we could physically go to because everyone hates us, and it just happens to have a guy who's been on a Covenant ship and knows all about this device and has seen all the other people use the device.
Yes. So Soren's like, hey, I know a guy.
This bitch over here. Yeah, he hung out on a ship.
Now, boy, this character is supposed to be a jackal. In Halo canon, this is a jackal. In this, it's a tweaker human that's supposed to be tweaking out because, you know, he was kidnapped by the Covenant and all that type of shit. I don't know why the Covenant wouldn't just fucking kill him. Why would they kidnap him? What does he have to offer?
Yeah.
What can he possibly do? He's not in UNSC. He can't do anything for him. So I don't know why they kidnapped him when they would have just killed him. But you've taken a jackal character and turned him into a human. Ultimate race swap. But remember before all those times where I said, I reckon Pablo Schreiber thinks he's playing Batman in space?
Yep.
This is a Batman interrogation scene.
Yep.
What's going on?
Tell me where it is.
I
Where?
don't know.
Where's our charity? Yeah.
Where's the charity?
Yeah.
So yeah, this dude,
Fucking shit, man.
Ref, supposed to be a jackal, turned him into a human, And
Well,
yet
it's
he
cheaper.
fucking sorry.
It's cheaper, saving budget if he's a human. They don't have to do CGI and stuff.
That's all. Yeah, you're right. That's all it is, man. We
Yeah.
just turned him into a fucking human because it's cheaper. But if you're gonna do a Halo show, do a fucking Halo show.
You're grunk.
We're 2 episodes in, and we've
Yeah.
only seen elites and prophets.
Yep. Nothing.
We haven't even seen a fucking grunt.
Nope. Grunt would be comic relief. It would be easy to do a grunt, but no.
Yeah,
I do like the British representation here, though. He's representing our
yes.
teeth. I think that's good for everyone involved. I like to be seen in a TV show.
I've never. Disprue starts crying. I never felt seen. Everybody has such.
I feel so seen.
They have perfect teeth and everything. It's bullshit. And here we go.
Representation matters.
It does.
Yeah,
Like
I
see
finally
my
get to
culture on the screen.
fucking.
So Ref touches the artifact. I think they call it a keystone, actually. Nothing happens. Chief touches it. It works because Chief is a blessed one. Silver timeline fuckery. Makes no fucking
Magic
sense.
Chief.
And this is
Yeah.
what I don't understand. Not only, like, presumably that's, like, triggered some kind of, like, flashbacks to his time on the Covenant or something, so I can understand why he starts cowering, but then he looks at Master Chief and goes, "You're different than the one they have." And I don't understand how he knows it. It's just lit up, but for some reason he knows that Master Chief is not only just capable of activating it, but he's different than the woman for some reason that they don't explain.
And then he somehow knows that they have a woman on their ship. Like, he remembers all of that, even though you would think as a Covenant, they wouldn't want anybody to know they have a human living on their ship. Yeah. That should be like classified information from Covenant forces and from the UNSC. But now he knows everything.
I think it's meant to provide, like, mystery because he's only giving you some answers, but because it's given to you by a deranged lunatic, you just kind of want to shake him. It's like, just give me a straight answer. It's more annoying than it is intriguing. It doesn't.
Well, that's what he
make
does.
me
He
want to
turns
find out
Batman.
more.
Yeah.
He turns Batman and starts yelling at him.
Give me the answers.
I kind of wanted him to just smash Quan into a wall at this point as well.
No,
Just for, like,
just start hitting
do
people.
something entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't tell me, I'll fucking kill the kid. So yeah, after all this, he says, "I'm going back to the UNSC."
Yep.
Because they got to know what's got to happen with this keystone.
See, that bit to me does make sense, though. Because it's like he's found out there's a weapon that can destroy all life. And it's like, well, they've got more resources than this random guy on an asteroid. So you're just using them for resources at that point.
Yep. Which
I actually thought that bit made sense. And that's when the other guy starts attacking him and saying, you're just going back to Mummy and stuff. And it's like, it's the one decision that makes sense and they're attacking him for it.
Yeah.
And he leaves
no,
the
you
kid
stupid
there.
fuck. That's not what you're supposed to do. No, you stay here with us. Hang out.
And
He has
you've
the
gone
helmet
past
on.
it, but Quan actually attacks him as well for leaving her behind. She's like, don't I get a say in this? It's like, no, you're a child. Children don't get a say in what happens to them.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
also,
know enough to make a decision.
Yeah, they want to murder you. We just had this conversation. They're trying to kill you. There are multiple people with bounties on your head. Yeah, and like the only person that I can trust right now is this guy on this rock that nobody really has access to. And she's like, I don't want to stay here. Yeah.
So he lands in literally the same spot in the first
Same
episode.
fucking spot. Yeah.
And they're acting like it's all this major deal. And it's like, no, we've already been through this before. And nothing has happened to make this deserving of it because we've just escaped it. And now we've heard about his feelings and he's come back. And now it's supposed to be a big deal. No, he did it voluntarily.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I also love how pretentious it is that they made it point downwards just to show, like, any other way you'd either lay it flat or you'd lay it base so it's pointing upwards and stuff. But they're like, no, let's try and balance it on the pointy bit.
Yeah.
And then, he's being detained, and Halsey comes and talks to him, and he's like, hey, I'm having memories of my childhood. And she's like, no.
Let's not talk about that. That's not important. And he's like,
I'm just glad she
okay.
didn't want us to talk about his feelings.
Yeah. She's like, God, I don't want to hear about how you fucking feel. Yeah. I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather not talk about.
The only movement on her entire face during the scene is her nose flaring. And you're supposed to be so much emotion just because her nostrils are moving.
Yeah. Dude,
And
it's awful.
And then this happens.
But booby.
And that right there is the mark of shame.
Yep.
This bitch is gonna be the arbiter.
Yeah. There's nobody else. Why would anybody else have that mark? There's no reason for it. Yep.
But then again, they changed the whole fucking mantle of responsibility and reclaimers. So
It's true.
who knows? And yeah, there we have a Flash clone. We're going to start to get some Cortana. This episode is literally fucking filler. You could skip this entire episode,
Mhm.
and you'd be set.
Hell,
You
even
end
the
up
people that are
exactly where you finished at the first one.
Yeah.
even just people that are shills of this show called it filler. People that are fucking shills and are like, everything about this show's amazing. I'm so glad that they did this. They're like, yeah, this episode's kind of filler.
The entire point is just to turn Master Chief into an emotional wreck. That's the only point of the episode.
Yep.
We can't have him be stoic. He's got to be just some big emotional mess.
My feels.
My
Gotta be in
feelings.
feels. Yeah.
So
McQueen.
there we go. It spends the whole time contradicting. Okay, so first of all, it in terms of like actual Halo canon, the Silver timeline, this is in name only at this stage. My question is, how much can you change before it's no longer the same IP? And I feel like they've changed enough for it to be in name only at this stage.
Yes, 100%.
But even just by its own Silver timeline rules, it's all over the fucking place.
Yeah,
all over the fucking place. When like all like the initial reviews were coming out of the first 2 episodes, everyone said that episode 1 was better. I completely fucking agree.
Yeah,
completely.
and episode 1 was bad.
Agree. Episode 1 sucked, but this is just terrible.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too, with this show and with like the Silver timeline bullshit and all of this stuff, you know, like you said, how much more can you change until it's no longer the same IP? But here's the thing, like they are establishing to us and telling us, hey, this war with the Covenant has been going on for a long time. There's a lot happening. There's a lot, you know, like we've been in this war for a long fucking time. None of that feels like this because nobody knows anything. Like they're trying to introduce us to information, but half of the people, like it's not, if it was just the artifact that changed the course of the war, that would be one thing, but that's not what it is. You barely know anything. The characters that we see don't know anything about the Covenant. The Covenant barely know anything about the UNSC. The UNSC barely knows anything about the Covenant. But supposedly this war has been going on for forever. Like, I mean, so that's the other part of it. Like, it's playing out like a story that just established like an early war where this Covenant just showed up. The humans are trying to figure out what to do and stuff. Why would the UNSC still be fighting insurgents, still be going to planets and murdering insurgents and fighting them when they have the Covenant? As soon as the Covenant showed up, they got past that shit real quick. Like, who
yeah, I
gives
mean,
a
like, there
fuck?
was still like, you know, tension and they didn't get along and there might have been some drama here and there, but it was, you see that big fucking purple thing? That's way more of a problem.
Yeah, because guess what? They're glassing your planets and they're glassing our planets. We got to do something. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. But no, instead they're like, well, we want to kind of deal with the, you know, the previous and let you kind of know. Yeah, like it's just, yeah, the timeline makes no sense. There's no real like arc to things. It's just embarrassing.
Like based off the wife saying they destroyed my planet when I was a kid, to me, that means they would have already been fighting the UNSC while the UNSC was creating and training Spartan 2s, which is, oh boy.
It's this obsession that Hollywood have with origin stories. I don't know what they have against showing people at like the peak of their power, because that's what everyone wants to see. You want to see Master Chief just annihilating people. You want to see him fighting aliens left. Like I said, I want John Wick fighting aliens. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And if it was just pure action, I'd be fine. You don't even need a story for me. Just action and it'd be amazing. But instead, no, we've got to see the start of a war when everyone's weak and nobody knows anything and it's just wandering around talking about our feelings for a while. It's awful.
Yeah. No, it really is.
Yeah, man. And like I also wouldn't mind, you know, showing Chief, you know, taking a few L's in the shows, like in a good Halo show. I wouldn't mind showing him taking a few L's because that's the thing. I mean, Chief has nearly died a lot. He's not fucking Superman. But, you know, you got to have him in like these big epic fights where he's slaughtering aliens. Then maybe like, you know, one fucking brute just manages to smack him across the head and that just rocks him. And you could have done so much of this. This was episode 2. I think it's really telling when you're at the second episode of a 9-episode season, and this is filler.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a fight. There was no fight.
But like I said, this is designed and plays out and is shot like an episode on like regular television with commercial breaks and all of that. So the fact that they're shooting it like that and portraying it like that they filler episodes are intentional. They purposely put it in there to establish some small things, and then they'll continue the plot later. But that tells me that they don't even have enough of a story to do 9 episodes. They couldn't pick and choose and like shorten the story. They're like, fuck, what do we do for 9 whole episodes? Well, we can do a little like filler episode here. Filler episodes are intentional. So
yeah, filler episodes are exactly that, filler. It's like, we've caught up to the manga. We need to waste some time.
Yeah.
And it used to be common amongst like 90s TV and stuff, like Stargate SG-1 would go and do flashback episodes and things. But that was because they ran out of money and they had 22 to 24 episodes in a series. When you've got 10 and $100 million, there's no excuse. It should just be start to finish, never stop, all the way.
Yep, 100%, man. I do not disagree.
Yeah. So on Rotten Tomatoes, out of curiosity, it's currently sitting on a 70% for critics, but on Top Critics, it's sitting at a 44, and the audience has dropped to a 59%.
I think that's very generous.
I think that's extremely generous.
Is that for this episode or the series?
The series as a whole. I'll see if I can find episode 2. Episode 2 doesn't even have any fucking ratings. It's just nothing. Just fuck it. But yeah. All right, well, we're going to start to wind this one down. Mike, any last thoughts on the episode? And plug your shit, or I'll fucking tell Mozzo to message you.
The show sucks. It's bad. Don't watch it. Come watch us. I want you to tell your friends, your friends, your non-friends, your worst enemies, family members.
Your wife and your girlfriend.
Your wife and your girlfriend. Your girlfriend's boyfriend. Your wife's boyfriend's girlfriend's wife. You tell them all. Don't watch Halo. Come watch us. Go watch us talk about the Halo show so you don't have to, because this show fucking sucks. It's garbage. It's not good. It's not worth your time. I'd rather go watch Morbius again than watch this shit. That's how bad it is. And Morbius is a bad movie too. It's all bad. It's garbage. If you have to understand, you have to make this worthless. If you make the IP worthless, they'll leave it alone. It's like playing dead. Make them think that it's dead. That's how you get your shit back. But fuck these people. Go check me out on twitch.tv/the_epic_Mike. You can also check me out. The Epic Man podcast is making its return in the next couple weeks here. It's going to be good shit. And then be sure to check me out. Me and Josiah out next Saturday. We'll be doing another live stream as well. So yeah, that's all the shit I got going on right now.
When's your next Twitch stream?
Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
What you playing?
Probably more Elden Ring because I hate myself. I've been
having fun then.
I've actually been grinding behind the scenes to make my character better. It has not been going as well as I'd hoped, but we're doing it. I tried to fight a dragon and it beat the shit out of me. It was on a bridge and it fucked me up. No, I don't think so. No, I can't fight that dragon. We're not ready for that one. I found a dragon on a bridge. And
I think it's onto Kaled or something.
Yeah, he fucked me up really bad, and I can't fight him. I even threw my jellyfish at him, and he was like, he just started spamming the same fire attack. I've never seen a boss use the same attack 6 times in a row, but he figured out it worked, and he just kept using it, and I had to keep running away from him, and then he reset halfway through me running away from him. Like, he didn't turn around and walk away like they do. He just straight up disappeared and reappeared on the bridge. It was like, fuck it. I'm not going to fight you anymore. You're going to keep running from me. So it's going to
they have aggro ranges. All enemies do that.
He got really pissed though. And then he just fucking disappeared. I was like, what? Yeah. And then when I came back to him, he just started spamming the same fire attack again. I was like,
yeah, luckily their health doesn't reset though when it happens. So
yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's what I got going on right now.
Well, thank you for coming on, Mike. You make this a hell of a lot more bearable. And Disparu, the British dragon, who's just fucking blown up like a psycho lately, man. Congrats, dude. What? Any final thoughts on this episode and the show as a whole? And plug your shit.
This episode was so boring. I think even Jay Hailstorm could fall asleep watching it. That's how bad it is at this point. We could use this as a medical treatment. I don't think anyone can. This has gone so far that I think if anyone says they like this series, I think they have an alternate reason for saying it. I don't think you can possibly enjoy it. There are some things which are so bad. Out of all the reviews I've done, and I've done Naomi and Wheel of Time and everything, this is the second worst episode out of any of them that I've had to go through. Episode 7 of Wheel of Time was the worst, and this was next. Going through that review was pain, and I just wanted all of it over, and I regretted everything about it.
Damn.
There was nothing to it. There was nothing to say, and you've still got to go through it in detail and analyze it. And the more you watch this, the worse it gets. No, this can be used as punishment. If they want the Spartans to stay in line, they should just make them watch their own show. They'll never do anything bad again. And yeah, if you want to watch the reviews, it's just me taking the piss out of the show, really. Then find me on Disbrew over on YouTube, Disbrew over on Twitch, and I'm gonna do the rest, but I'm not sure I'm gonna have the same soul afterwards.
Have you started doing Twitch yet?
You partially die.
Do I even follow you? I don't even think I followed you because you weren't streaming.
Yeah, I keep meaning to. It's a case of just the amount of videos. Like, I want to do it today, but I've also got 2 videos to do first. And then by the end, well, I need to just start. I want to do multiplayer stuff. So you got Warzone, Fortnite. I've got Tiny Tina's Wonderland or something.
Did you get that?
Well. Yeah,
really?
It looks cool. Yeah,
I'm gonna grab it now.
Yeah, the start of it looks really good. It's got this weird, wacky sense of humor, and they're doing like a D&D game.
Yep.
But actually, they're in the game. It looks pretty cool.
Have you ever played Borderlands before?
I did some of Borderlands 3. I think I probably got about halfway through it and then just stopped.
Borderlands 3 is hot garbage. It's
Borderlands 2 is the best one.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 has the best gameplay, but by far the worst fucking characters.
The worst story and characters. Because in Borderlands 2, there was DLC where that actually is like the thing. Like Tiny Tina puts together a D&D game with all the characters from the game, and you play it. So this is like an expansion of that DLC, like where
maybe
it's
Borderlands 2 that I played then, because I've never seen her before.
Oh, really, Tiny Tina?
She appeared in Borderlands 2.
She appears in Borderlands 2. But she's also in Borderlands 3 for a little bit, but she's not there until like halfway through the story. So.
The one I played was the one Radio played on a stream yesterday, because I recognized the start of it.
Okay,
that was Borderlands 2.
Oh, well, that's the one I played then. Yeah, because I like the kind of humor of it, but I've seen the start on someone else's stream, which is what made me pick it up because I thought it was funny.
That is, Borderlands 2 is great, but if you're playing that, then I need to just go pick it up, and then I can play it with you too, because I fucking love that game.
Borderlands is hell of fun, man. You put hours into it.
Yeah, and it's better with multiplayer. It's definitely better in multiplayer. Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool.
All right, well, I'm going to call it here. If CBS claims this one, I'll fucking dispute it again, and they'll probably get it back in a few days, because that's what happened last time. This show is just Halo in name only at this stage. They've changed so goddamn much that it's not really recognizable, and I also think it's generic sci-fi. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one, whatever that may be and when. And I'll probably be on Twitch later today. I'll probably play Final Fantasy to cleanse my fucking soul. All right, I'm going to give you some Bush Barbie. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Oh, sorry. You probably thought I was a drop bear. No, it's me, Bush Barbie. And today, I'm here to talk to you about dingers. Because like you, this bush has seen a cockatoo. Regardless if you like it deep in the bush or prefer it in the outback, make sure you look after your wombat hole. So many critters can get down there. And believe me, it's enough to make your dango go drier than a dead dingo's donger in the desert. So don't do it. Even if he is a fun guy. Yeah, so by all means go wild. Just make sure you take a moment, in the moment, to use a moment, so you can keep the devil out of your tassie and the jelly out of your box. That's it.